everything is a go. Hopefully the microphone. You know what? Let me bump up the volume slightly. Okay, hopefully this is okay. People will let me know if it's not okay. People are nice. And that is not a backhanded compliment. That's genuine. Oh god, I forgot the Battlefield is coming out soon. Okay. Checking out to make sure that the stream health looks good. Okay, yeah. Wait. Where is it? Oh no, it's here. Okay. Ew, auto dubbing is enabled on the channel. Okay, remind me I'm gonna have to disable that later. Oh, that's disgusting. That's not good. I don't like that. Yes, here, let me get a cozy camera spot set up. There we go. That looks good, because now you guys can see that up there, too. Hey, it's just me, says Steven Perez. It's good to see you, Steven. Don't talk down to yourself like that. It's not just you. What does he mean by COD Zombies has come to Halo? We're going to check out the new mode that's in Halo Infinite matchmaking, and it might seem extremely familiar if you like Call of Duty Zombies. We've kicked off the party, comrade. Comrade! Let me get my Nikolai Belinsky impression.
We've kicked off party, comrade. Where's the vodka?
Also Halloween event. Yes, also Halloween event. Which is pretty cool. Halo Infinite. Aye. That's a little bit loud. Okay, let me share. Let me share this online. Let folk know what I'm up to. Okay, there we go. Currently playing Survive the Undead, which is a COD style zombies mode in Halo Infinite. Talking about Halo, COD Zombies, and more. Come. Hey. That's good. That's a good tweet. Okay, now I add the description. There we go. Hello, Rocket Baby. Let me see where else I can throw this to. I've got a light right there, and it's squinting. I see past it, but if I don't have it, I'll look like a Neanderthal because of the shadow. There's a light directly above me. This pain is worth it. Okay, hang on, almost done. Okay, posting. Go. And now the link to that one, and then we should be good to go. How are you all doing, by the way? Perfect. When will we see the flood? Frowny face. We gotta, they gotta, for the next Halo game, what I'm thinking is for Forge, what they need to actually, like, add as a tool is, the ability to, like, take a model and graft items onto it. Because that way you could theoretically create, like, an energy sword elite, and you could put little flood things on them, and then save it. as like a modified model. And then there you go, you can have your flood, you know. Hello, bros. I just ate a Hershey's bar, and next is a Reese's cup and a Kit Kat, says Pooping Pills. Good evening, G. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. I just finished a script for a Halo video. I was working on a Helldivers video, but I think this Halo video needs to take priority. Yo, says orange milkshake. Milkshakes shouldn't be orange, right? Could be better. It's been a really shit week for me. I'm looking forward to finally fixing my car and enjoying the whole weekend of Battlefield 6. Oh, I'm sorry about your car, dude. Sorry about your car. At least Battlefield 6 will ease the pain. Did you guys see the news about Call of Duty? Call of Duty is dropping SBMM. They're going back to the old matchmaking style, and on top of that, they are also going to bring back no disbanding lobbies. I could just say they're getting rid of disbanding lobbies. That rolls off the tongue a little bit better. Man, that's the power of competition, right? Yeah, game is louder than you. I fixed it. Let me know if it still sounds bad. I do wonder what we'll see at the Halo Showcase this month. Here is my prediction, okay? My prediction is usually wrong, so I'm hoping that it is more than what I'm going to say. I am expecting a reveal of the Combat Evolved remake, and I am expecting a tease. Whether it's gameplay, like a 30-second, you know, like blackness, and then boo 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 of a BR, and in those 3 sounds you see like a couple seconds of like gameplay, you know, maybe then more ba ba ba, and you see like a landscape, which is the map. We're gonna see a tease for the multiplayer project, whatever that's gonna be. So, full announcement trailer for Combat Evolved remake, tease of the multiplayer project. That's what I'm expecting. Black Ops 7 is going to be really good. I spent my whole week playing the beta, and the Zombies is solid. Zombies is okay. I don't like things about it, but the things that I don't like about it are carryovers from Black Ops 6, and I don't think that zombie mode was very good. I mean, it was fine, but it was, you know, not ideal. But I will say the Black Ops 7 Zombies mode feels more... It feels like it's trying its best. And the things that are weighing it down are poor design and gameplay decisions from the prior game. All the original stuff that is unique to Black Ops 7, I think, is actually great. And it's kind of a pity that it's being debuted in Black Ops 7. I wish it was almost like... Man, just the map, some of the new stuff, the survival mode. I wish all of that... I just kind of wish Black Ops 7 didn't have a zombies mode, and we could save all that for like a future game with stronger bones. You know? It's funny, it took Battlefield 6 for Activision to finally listen to its community. Yeah, I mean, that's competition for you. They are not going to listen until it hits their bottom line, which is very frustrating. And it's also frustrating for the developers who get most of the heat for decisions that are out of their control. I feel really bad for, God, all the Call of Duty developers the last few years. Like, Treyarch especially, I feel very bad for them this year. All those COD developers, the producers, the people at Activision, they've been calling the shots for a little bit too long. And then, didn't Microsoft recently announce that they're creating some kind of like, man, it is so bad sounding. It's a committee that decides on the gameplay for the franchise. So the developers are told, here is the core gameplay. You can't change this. This is what your game will play like. Now make a game. And that is so soul-crushing. To me, at least, you know? I'm waiting to see how the classic Zombies mode in Black Ops 7 will be like. I'd assume it's not gonna be great, you know? Like, Black Ops 7 already has wall jumping, it has omni movement, it has, like, slide and stuff. Thankfully, there's no tac sprint, which is nice, but then it's got all those environments that are built for the omni movement, built for, like, the wall jumping, enhanced mobility stuff, as well as, like, zombies are tuned for that, zombie AI and stuff. I mean, the fact that, like, the survival map we played didn't even have barriers to rebuild, I'm like, man, all right. Like, I'll try to enjoy zombies this year, but I have a feeling it's just gonna be more of the same, you know? Survival mode is bootleg Nocturne Toten. No, survival mode is just survival mode, you know? Nocturne Toten is a map. Survival mode is survival mode. Like, Farm isn't trying to be a bootleg Noct. It's just survival on Farm, you know? In fact, I wish that, it's so annoying that it took Zombies, 13 years to realize that Black Ops 2 was actually on the money with having the expanded maps and then broken up survival maps as gameplay options. Because, like, obviously, like, the Easter egg type stuff, it gets the views. Like, my heart will belong to, like, Kino der Toten, Der Riese, Nacht, Verrückt, like, those kind of zombies experiences. But it's the Easter eggy story stuff, you know, that gets the views, that generates the hype and stuff. While the smaller scale survival stuff is what most people end up playing. And I'm happy that Black Ops 7, it's late, very, very late, but I'm happy that Black Ops 7 has recognized that survival mode is very important for the health of a zombies mode. And it's annoying because World War II actually knew this. That's why Call of Duty World War II zombies, they had survival maps, and they were great. They were really, really good fun. But, you know, Treyarch's the only developer that can make zombies, apparently. So we can't learn lessons from any other developer. All right, let's jump in. Has Farm always been that small? Yeah, it's, in fact, it's a little bit bigger in Black Ops 7. The reason it feels small is because of the Omni movement. Like, your core gameplay is less friction, so you're moving about the environment a lot faster, than you used to. You know, verticality doesn't matter as much. Like, you can wall bounce up to the top of the farmhouse. So it's not actually as small as it feels. It's just you're moving about so much quicker. Here, let me... $70 FOV? That's wild. No, it's not 70. It's 78. 78's the default FOV for the game. I know one's behind me. Yep, okay. My zombie sense was tingling. Alright, let's upgrade our damage. I think I'm gonna hold out on buying something until I can get access to the box. I was about to say the Sentinel Beam, but what I'm trying to get is the Sentinel Beam, which comes from the mystery box. Can you guys see okay? I keep the brightness of the game a little bit low. But if you guys need me to brighten it up so that you can see, because I know YouTube streaming kind of screws up visual quality. Yeah, just let me know. Okay, the zombies have been upgraded to the red elites. Oh boy, let me run up here. Let me also deactivate the voices so that you can actually hear, because this mode gets loud. This mode gets very loud, and sometimes it's hard to focus because I just hear like the "We will wipe you off this road," like all the fucking babbling. It sounds like a room of Halo fans arguing in the high waves because everyone's just screaming and yelling. Okay, here we go. Voice. There we go. That's a little bit better. My sweet spot is 90 to 105. It's too low and it's nauseating. Too high and enemies in the games look like ants. Yeah, that's really the balance, ain't it? The reason I had it on 78 is because I was playing the campaign. And I think the campaign doesn't look awesome. I mean, it's definitely, you know, tailor the field of view to whatever is comfortable for you and prevents nausea. But for me, I don't think the campaign looks that good above 85. Because enemies start to feel like they're really, really far away from you. And it's a little bit hard to actually see their facial expressions. Because I think the most fun of like the old Halo games, playing Halo 1 on the original Xbox in the last year or so, actually kind of made me really notice and realize how fun it was. The low FOV, you always saw the enemy's face, and you could see the elites, you know, their mouths moving and stuff. And on the MCC at a high FOV and Halo Infinite, you can't really see their faces because they're too far away because of the field of view. Okay, let's run down to the box o' mysteries. Oh god. This is not what I wanted. Not that that's like a bad weapon, but I need something a bit more aggressive. Okay, 2. Here we go. Let's hit the box again. No. This is gonna get me. These are just things that'll kill me. Is this a joke? Okay, this is a joke. It's gotta be. Okay, they're coming. Yeah, we got Berserker Brutes now. I do like that you can now see points popping up on the screen. Because in the initial version of this mode, you couldn't see. You just kind of killed them and hoped that you got a lot of points. Oh, this ain't the calcine disruptor. Hang on, I gotta... This is bad. This thing's not good. I mean, right now it's insta-kill. So, it's fine, but I am going to need to fix this problem very, very quickly. Okay. Okay, let's go for the box. Oh, nice. The speed cola is open. Okay, we're gonna go for that. Doom 3 felt like old school marathon. That is a wild thing to say. Could you elaborate? And not like in a, you're wrong. More in like, that's wild, and I'm really curious to hear how you arrived at that. Because that's a very interesting take. Doom always gave me more of like a Half-Life. Half-Life vibe. It felt like a Half-Life with demons. Let's grab this. Okay. No, I don't have enough to, oh, ammo. Thank you. Okay. Okay, things are starting to get a little bit heated. What do you guys think of this mode having enemies that have guns? I'm a little bit... I don't know how to feel about it. Because on one hand, I think it probably is there for gameplay reasons. But on the other hand, I feel like the guns kind of take away from the whole zombie part, you know? I like Doom the Dark Ages, and when I saw people online saying it was mediocre, as my first Doom I enjoyed it. I would like to check out the other ones, but are they as badass? Don't ignore people who say Doom the Dark Ages is mediocre. They're wrong and stupid for saying that. Sorry to it's sorry to be like that. Sorry to be like that. But that's a take that I cannot. Like there isn't a in the multiverse there is no universe where Doom the Dark Ages is mediocre. That game is fine. It is the weakest of the Doom trilogy, and it is one of the best shooters I've played in recent memory. So that should say something about the Doom trilogy, that the weakest one is still one of the best games. Yeah, if you liked Doom the Dark Ages, you're gonna have a really good time with the rest of the trilogy. It's a great trilogy of games. And what's also nice is the Doom trilogy kind of follows this philosophy of each game plays very differently from the last, and what unifies them all is the Slayer and the fact that the combat loop in each game is very very refined, very satisfying and fun. Like Doom the Dark Ages is this very like meaty, almost like bullet hell, like it's a very horizontal game, you know, like mostly you're not going to see any enemy above you. They're all kind of at your same level, and they're surrounding you, and so you're kind of like moving about, blocking things, smacking things with your melee weapons and stuff. Really satisfying, really fun feeling. Doom 2016 is more like, okay, so you played as Doom Guy, right? As the Slayer. What would it feel like if the game was trying to immerse you more in that? Like, what if it took the Doom Slayer, like, 10% seriously? So things on your HUD, when you fall from a certain height, you'll have, like, a HUD pop up that is, like, damage impact absorbed. You know, like, your suit is as much a character as you. And it's very immersive. It's you never leave the first person field of view, and it's still funny. Like, it's still funny. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't take itself that seriously, but it is more of like a, you'll be like crawling through vents, crawling through air ducts in that game. It has a crouch button, and then Doom 2016 is sort of like, the best way I can describe it is it's like a Saturday morning cartoon. And that's not, like, derogatory. That's actually, like, very good. It's very silly, very fun. And it just, like, oh my god. At some point in Doom 26, or in Doom Eternal's campaign, Doom Guy picks up a fiery hell sword and then strikes the He-Man pose. You know? Like, that's the tone of the game. It's just a big nerdy game for nerds. And it's great because of that. So, the Doom trilogy is fantastic. All the games in it are very different from one another, tonally, gameplay-wise. And because of that, they're all stronger as a result. Arc Raiders, that's what I'm waiting for, says Rocket Baby. Dude, Arc Raiders looks like fun. I'm itching for, like, an extraction shooter that I can get really into. I know Helldivers isn't an extraction shooter, but it's got extraction shooter elements to it. But I'd like a proper extraction shooter to get into. Like Tarkov... Tarkov, I'm not too into Tarkov, just because it's very mechanically rich, and I don't have the time to get into a mechanically rich game. And on top of that, the developers are kind of shitheads, for lack of a better term. Their stance on, they are Russian developers, and their stance on Ukraine is very shitty, and because of that, I will not be playing their game. I'm trying to see if I can find the teleport. Oh, damn it. Yeah, Arc Raiders seems fun. Wasn't Arc Raiders originally a PvE game? Like, exclusively PvE. It was supposed to be, like, you'd take down robots and stuff. What's going on? Oh my god, there's 64 zombies. Okay, he needs to revive us, or he is going to die. I'm making a video currently about this mode, and I'm actually going to do a PSA to check to make sure your team is not dead, because it's not the player base's fault. Unfortunately, you know, just HUD limitations, UI limitations. You don't always know that, you know, your entire team is dead until you manually check for it yourself. It looks like it's going to be a staple, honestly. Okay, good. Yeah, because I saw, like, Marathon... Like, I was interested in Marathon until I saw raw gameplay of it, and then I was like, oh, no. Oh, no, you know, this doesn't... Oh, man, this doesn't have legs. Which sucks. Have you tried Claire Obscure Expedition 33? Best game I've played in like 10 years. I have not. I have not played it. That's one of the games that's unfortunately passing me by, just because I don't have time. I feel like I have time now, as I've gotten older, to just play maybe 2 games every year, and I've got to be very picky about what those games are going to be. Like I mean, thankfully, the Helldivers ODST crossover in the Xbox release has sort of forced a third game into my life this year. But I think my 2 games for this year are going to be Doom the Dark Ages and Battlefield 6. But I have read the summary of the Clear Expedition 33 story on Wikipedia. And seen some of the stuff just so I can keep up with what people are saying. It's made by ex-Ubisoft folk, which is kind of interesting. And I'm glad that it's kind of like a turn-based game. Like, it's cool that that's doing well. Come on. Do you hear that? That pop, pop, pop of all the hit markers? That's very satisfying. Okay. Okay, let me go damage upgrade. Very satisfying. What happened to their CSGO mode? The CSGO mode's gone, unfortunately. I mean, it's not like dead, you know. It's somewhere. It's somewhere in the matchmaking. I'm not sure what playlist it's been in. I actually feel bad because I haven't been playing a lot of Halo Infinite. I got super into the Invasion game mode when it released, because I think Halo Infinite's Invasion is great, actually. I think it's better than Halo Reach's version. Because it takes Halo Reach's version, and I think what they've done with the loadouts lends itself to a bit more cooperative gameplay. Because Reach's armor abilities, they were limited in terms of team play because they were all self-serving, their focus, you know? Like, armor lock saves you. Sprint only helps you. Whereas Halo Infinite has a variety of different tools that can help your team, like the regeneration field, drop wall and stuff, X-ray sensor. There's a lot of ways to be a team player in Infinite's version of Invasion. And I didn't know what to expect playing it. Like, I'm trying to have an open mind, you know? I don't want to just be cynical. But I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that it was great. Nice. Okay, final weapon upgrade. Good. Now we can start upgrading our health and stuff. Poor Luke being invested in the new marathon. Oh man, I feel bad for him because he's essentially going through what I went through with Halo Infinite. Where it's like, it's exciting to be invited to see like an early look at the game, but not just that. You're brought on board so that you can give your expertise and your feedback on the game in a really rough early state so that you can help shape it into something better. But just due to, you know, the development process, like, you know, your feedback probably helped, but the project was almost doomed from the start just because the developers themselves were not ready to tackle such a thing. It, like, kind of kills the magic of game development. It makes you a little bit cynical. You kind of realize, oh, game development's hard. And sometimes the game sucks because of aspects outside of your control. Oh, let's get our buddy back up. I think I saw somebody. Yeah, hey, buddy. Come on. So there's still some pathfinding issues on this map. I noticed that they get caught down here a little bit. The Hydra is nasty as a loadout weapon in Invasion. It is. It is. It's very nasty, especially after the buff. Oh, boy. Let's get out of here. Come on, please, please let me through. Hoping the CE remake is like Metal Gear Solid Delta, where it's 2 games in one, the remake and the original with upgraded graphics. Says Andrew Brown. I appreciate the $5, Andrew. Is that what Metal Gear Solid Delta is? That's one of the games that I've had to pass over. Here, we're also going to get a shotgun. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. No, I thought I saw a cloaked man. Because there are cloaked men at a certain round. What I'm hoping for the Combat Evolved remake is... Man. I really, really hope that it's artistically faithful to the original game. We'll also translating a lot of its, like, Y2K intentions into HD. Like, I hope that they don't just have... Like, you know that render that they did for the Combat Evolved remake? What did they call it? Project Foundry or something, whatever? Like those are, like, cool assets, you know, cool Unreal Engine assets that they showed, you know, hey, it's some Halo Infinite stuff, but it's been put into the Unreal Engine, and it sure looks pretty, but none of it looked like Combat Evolved looks, you know? Like, art direction is more than just the design of the assets themselves. It's also about the color grading, color choice, shapes, silhouettes, shape of the terrain, vibes. Like, it's a lot of, even like the texture of the metals and the surfaces and stuff. Like, it all contributes to an atmosphere. And I'm worried that they are just going to put a bunch of Halo assets into the Unreal Engine, and it's going to make them look, you know, photorealistic. But that's essentially going to be it. So Combat Evolved Anniversary did have more of an art direction. It was the wrong art direction, you know, it didn't convey the mood of Combat Evolved correctly, but Combat Evolved Anniversary had a look. It was just a misguided look, you know? I'm worried that this will just look like photorealism. Just a bunch of Combat Evolved designs in photorealistic environments. Let's go for the mystery box. Yes, this is what I wanted. Okay. I'm gonna have to turn off the music in a second. Not because it's bad or anything, it's just, a little bit distracting, actually. Okay. Okay. I'm quite the opposite. I'm very excited to wonder what the remake will look like. Well, thankfully you won't have to wonder for too much longer, because we'll be able to see what it looks like. But then I see somebody also saying that they're not too excited because that just means Halo 7 is even further away. Don't look at it as Halo 7 or, you know, whatever. Just look at it as the next Halo thing. Because that's, as a big fan of the Gears of War games, I mean, okay, I should clarify. Not a big fan, more like a casual enjoyer of the Gears of War campaigns. Like, I like all of them. The first one I still think is my absolute favorite, with the second one coming in as very, very close. But I generally like all of the campaigns. The Coalition taking so damn long between Gears of War games was really annoying. Like, Gears of War 4, I liked it a lot, and I was really damn annoyed that they ended on such a cliffhanger. And then Gears of War 5 ended on another cliffhanger, and they've just been taking way too long. And I've not just the Coalition, but also the Wolfenstein developers have taught me that as well, because Wolfenstein: The New Order ended on a kind of unsatisfying cliffhanger, and then the New Colossus ended on kind of an unsatisfying cliffhanger. So I'm just starting in my old age. I am starting to learn that it's easier to enjoy things if you just look at it as the next release in a franchise rather than the continuation of a story. Because plans change, things change, you know, other things take priority, and sometimes the thing that you're really invested in, it's just not gonna get a conclusion. So it's better to just be like, man, that was really cool. I wonder when their next game will come out. And then, oh, look, the next game. Yes, this is what I wanted. Okay. I played Halo CE when I was 8, and it truly shaped the gamer I am today. I recently replayed it on the MCC and had a blast, except the Rocket Flood. They were a blast in the worst kind of way. Yeah, the Rocket Flood were stupid. It's annoying because it's like, man, it's an enemy that you can't really predict. You know, and like the silhouette, like the Flood have all those lumpy things all over them, so the rocket launcher on their shoulders get disguised by just the general lumpy design of it. And you don't really know what's coming until you hear the whoosh, you know, and you see the rocket heading your way, and by that point you're dead. Not a great enemy to fight against. Let's go this way. And I think we're still getting another Wolfenstein game, but it won't be out for a long time, I think. Yeah, no, it will not be out for a while. Yeah, I saw the announcement that they're going to do another Wolfenstein game. But at that point, it's like different creatives, different writers, different developers, you know. I mean, same developer, but, you know, different creatives are going to be involved. So it's going to feel very different. I hope not, you know. That Indiana Jones game is so good. Oh, man, the Indiana Jones game. That's another game that I could not that was one of the games that, despite how much fun I was having, I had to let it go because I didn't have enough time to actually get super into it. Final Fantasy VII Part 3 may come in 2027. Quick turnaround. Well, they reuse a shit ton of assets, don't they? Square Enix. Like, they're kind of like, man, Square Enix is super weird. They're almost like, I really appreciate parts of Square Enix because it seems like their culture is kind of like the last bastion of, they really, really are artistic, and they really cherish the artistic aspect of games, and because of that, it makes them very, like, sometimes a little bit arrogant, sometimes a little bit, you know, like their priorities are a bit misplaced because they think they're making, like, the most important game ever. But I appreciate that aspect about them, and sometimes it does mean that they're able to do things really quickly because they think very cleverly about how they're gonna kind of like future-proof things. Other times they'll just like waste a bunch of money on an engine they don't intend on using. So I guess these Final Fantasy remakes are kind of like an example of them actually being kind of clever and being able to pump them out quickly. Because it matters a lot to them, and so they want to make sure that they can get them done quickly. Gears of War 4 campaign was alright. Just saying, Gears of War 4 campaign was alright, but 5 was just not what I wanted it to be, especially when I did both endings for Gears 5 and they were practically the same. They are practically the same, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Because, I mean, Gears of War isn't, you know, exactly an RPG, damn it. Gears of War isn't an RPG, you know. It's a bit like the Wolfenstein games, where it's probably going to change very minor things in the next game, but I do not like the alternate endings for Gears 5. Not because they're practically the same, but because I just don't know why it was done. I mean, I get why it was done, you know, but I don't get why they thought that it needed to be done. Like, the idea is, it's like you're supposed to make a really hard choice. It's supposed to be a very hard moment for Kate, having to pick between these two people. But what I'm thinking is, why did you guys think that Gears of War 5 needed a moment like that? You know? I have a feeling that most people picked JD as the one who survives. Like, that's the one most people will experience, and because unfortunately Dell is not super, super interesting. And JD has that connection to Marcus. So I'm just like, I don't get why it was a choice. It shouldn't have been a choice. But I liked Gears 5. I didn't like the open world segments. I thought they were not good, because Gears of War isn't really like a game where you arrive at a camp and the enemies don't know you're there, and you kind of like, you know, you mark all the enemies with a little Dorito above their head, and then you fire your first shot, and then they all start shooting at you, and you kind of clear out the camp and then move on. It's a lot like Call of Duty in that way. I gave up on the Black Ops 6 campaign when it dropped me into an open world mission, because I was like, no. No, this sucked in Modern Warfare 3, and it sucks here. Like, the fun of a Call of Duty campaign or a Gears of War campaign is that you're kind of following the main characters as you play as one of them, and it's a very guided experience. You just kind of like follow, do what you're told, enter some interesting locations, environments, shoot people, open up a door, like, you know, see some cool cinematic stuff. It's very, very deliberately paced, and the like dropping you into an open world environment and saying, make your own fun. You get to choose the fun and the pacing. I'm like, but that's what I'm paying you for. I'm boring. I'm playing the campaign because I want you to make the fun for me. You know, don't just drop me into a big empty map and tell me to figure it out. Like, that's your job. I saw Laper Larden's video on Reach. Not gonna lie, the ending almost made me tear up. Halo Reach is tied to my life in a way that could never be detached. Reach is a good-ass game, man. It's kind of like the swan song of Halo on the Xbox 360. Swan song of Bungie's run on the franchise. It was just like a good game, good farewell to the community, end of an era. And then it also helps just that in 2010, it was a damn good shooter. Like the value that Reach provided for $60, you don't see that from a lot of first-person shooters anymore. I can't remember the last time I opened up a new game and thought, oh my god, where do I start? You know? We can't get that. Okay, that's a nuke. Holy moly. Hang on. Do you hear the little tick-oo, tick-oo? You know, Halo Infinite sound team, the hit marker sound that they came up with is so damn good. Like, generally, I'm a little bit tired of hit markers in games, especially when, like, if kind of feels like the hit marker gave them an excuse to cheap out on physical and audio feedback to, you know, an enemy getting hit. But, like, if we're to take, like, the Call of Duty franchise as being the kings of making hit marker sound effects, Halo Infinite's hit marker sound effect is competitive. I think it's better than some of the recent Call of Duty games' hit marker sound effects. Like, that's good sounding, man. That's really good sounding. Hey, LNG, what are your thoughts on future Halo games really diving into the more gruesome aspect of the brutes now that the Banished are the main antagonist? I'd love that. I'd love that. I'd like to know... So, I'd like to know... Yikes! More about brute culture. I'd like to know... what they do for fun. How they're able to kind of interact with other species and stuff. And I'd like to just know what makes them aliens, you know? Like, the elites are super alien-y. Grunts are super alien-y. I'd like to know what makes the brutes aliens. Because sometimes I think the brutes get a bad rap as just being, like, monkey. Which isn't entirely untrue, you know? They are most definitely monkey. But I'd like to know weird shit about the brutes that are like, oh, got it. Yeah, that's right. They evolved on a completely different planet. Like, they come from outer space. They're extraterrestrials. Very good. All right, we got all our speed upgrades. Let's do damage upgrades. Let's finish that up. Okay, now let's finish up the health upgrades, and then I really need to settle into the weapon I'm going to begin pack-a-punching, because the waves are getting faster. No, I already upgraded. Damage, yikes, it's not good. Oh no. Oh no, oh good heavens. Oh dear me. Oh, there's a lot of men. Okay. Thankfully, this stuns them a little bit. Like, the shots recoil them a bit. Or cause them to recoil, I should say. Hang on. Guys are dead. Oh boy. Okay, 29 zombies left. So things should start slowing down. Okay, 17 zombies left. Okay, I need to go upgrade. Something, anything at this point. Speed upgrade, no. Not the calcine disruptor, because that thing will just kill me. Okay, let me go for the box. No. That's alright, but perfect. Okay. Is health up? No, health is not up here. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? No, where in the world is the health upgrade? Is the Carmen Sandiego game good? That name's very nostalgic to me, because my sister used to play that on the PC growing up. It was like a point-and-click adventure game, right? Like, Carmen Sandiego was like the world's most notorious thief or something, and you had to, like, go on an adventure and travel the world and learn about different countries as you're looking for Carmen Sandiego. Like, it's one of those, like, learning games. And they did a reboot of Carmen Sandiego. Ah! No!
You can't do this to me!
You can't kill me! Do you know who I am? I am a Halo! Okay. This is intense. I literally can't take my eyes off the screen. They're moving too fast. Okay.
Oh, man!
Okay. We're moving. Cleared some space. This is bad, though. This is really bad. Oh, no. You better run, dude. Okay, let me... Okay, got everybody back up. Oh my god, he's not going to move, is he? Oh god, and there's still 31 zombies. Okay. I'm sure you guys are saying really interesting things right now, and I'm sorry that I can't look. Okay, we are gonna need this. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it gets me killed or if it's a hazard. We need something to slow them down. That's why I was kind of, man. I'm hoping to get. Oh my god. Okay, wave complete. I need to get the heat wave, and then I need to upgrade it with the wonder weapon. Sorry, not the wonder weapon. The what's it called? The shock rifle. Okay. LNG, what are your hopes for the next Zelda game? Art style, map size? I think Rebecca and we talk about this a lot, and because Rebecca is okay. So guys, like, to Halo, what Halo is to me, Zelda is to Rebecca. She is an extreme Zelda fan, and we spoke. She's actually the one that got me into Zelda. Because for the longest time, I didn't play Zelda, you know? I was, like, stupid and annoying, and I never gave it a shot. And when we began dating, you know? Because of her, I played Breath of the Wild. And it hooked me, and now my love of Zelda has kind of grown. And we talked a lot about it, and she said that, what we both kind of agreed on is that the next Zelda game can't be set in this, like... Not that the Breath of the Wild world is bad, but it's more like... It's starting to feel a little bit like it's run its course, you know? Like, it's time for Zelda to kind of explore a new art style and a new setting. Because Zelda games... What's really the strength of the Zelda franchise is the fact that it can explore a ton of different aesthetics, a ton of different styles. It can tell a bunch of different stories, and it really doesn't have to worry about canon because it has this built-in excuse of timelines and reincarnation. So, you know, the Toon Link is not the same Link from Ocarina of Time, and the Breath of the Wild Link is not... Like, none of them are related. They're all just, like, new incarnations of the same person being reborn over time. Same with, like, Ganon and Zelda and all of that stuff. And right now, the Breath of the Wild style of Link and that world, you know, that look for the franchise, it's very exciting. People like it a lot, but it is starting to wear thin. It would be very cool to see Zelda begin exploring the next look and setting for the Zelda franchise. You know, and we kind of allow the Breath of the Wild world to kind of now exist in the realm of, like, spin-offs and... Oh my god, I'm dead.
This is the end.
Okay. As a young Halo player, Sprint makes Halo harder to get into. Well, I think, that's cool that you think that, at least to me. But I think genuinely for, like, youngins, like, young folk, Sprint, the older Halo games, the Bungie era Halo games, are easier of an onboarding process because the gameplay is so much simpler. Okay, I need to... Oh my god. Fear was struck into my heart when I saw that hallway. Oh my god. crap. Crap, this is not good. This is, oh, most definitely bad. I didn't get enough direction in Breath of the Wild. I kept wandering into high-level areas and struggling. I thought I was bad. They looked cool. I wanted to go there, but I kept dying. Well, eventually you will go there. The best way to play Breath of the Wild is to... Like, Breath of the Wild signposts you. It tells you where to go. Like, what I think is actually very clever about Breath of the Wild is that there is a linear path. You know, like, it wants you to do very specific things. It gives you the freedom to not do it the correct way if you want, but... You know, usually you're always facing the direction you should be going in. Your little notebook kind of tells you what you're supposed to do, and if you follow the golden path for a while, you will kind of arrive at the places you should be and get the upgrades you were meant to have, you know, and you'll find actually that the difficulty loop in Breath of the Wild is fairly straightforward, and it's a very comfortable directed experience. Oh no! Oh, that's that guy Esherim. That guy's a bad news. Ah! Ah! Get away from me! Ah! Okay, running this way. Help! God, there is this period where Rebecca and I were really stuck on, Rebecca and I we've talked about our brainworms in the past, like the various things that we get stuck on, and, something that Rebecca and I got stuck on, like 2 years ago maybe, was, just shouting, help! I say, help! Help me! Yeah, and oh my god, it was like, it's so much fun, but could you imagine just like using the bathroom and as a way to tell me that I'm taking too long, I just hear Rebecca from another room just screaming, help me! Help! Huh? Yeah, probably. Yeah, so I'm just like sitting there, and then, help me! Help! Gosh, that was fun. You're supposed to stay alive in this mode, by the way, says Forge Falcons. Yeah, guys, pro tip. Don't die. That's also cool. Forge Falcons is in here. Yeah, I was actually talking to Forge Falcons recently. It's pretty cool that this mode is back in matchmaking. Duration, 20 minutes. You know, now I'm doing like the math in my head and I'm trying to figure out if that's actually... God, Thunderbolt might still be the best way to farm XP. Was XP distribution nerfed? It doesn't feel like it. It probably has something to do with just like how aggressively you play, you know? I haven't played Helldivers yet. My students tell me I need to play it. Helldivers 2 is a lot of fun. Lot of fun. It's very unique as a game in today's gaming climate because it uses friction and kind of clunky game mechanics as difficulty and balancing, you know? Like, movement is heavy. It's not really like a Call of Duty, Apex Legends slip and slide. Weapons are balanced, yes, around, like, damage, range, but, you know, there's bullet drop in the game. But not just bullet drop, there's also weight that's simulated. So if you're holding, like, a really heavy weapon, your crosshair will actually kind of lag behind the center of the screen. So, like, you'll whip it around, and then you'll see your crosshair slowly reorient itself to the center of the screen. Which is cool. Holy crap, Rocket Baby! Rocket Baby just give me 40 bucks. Hang on. Hang on, Rocket Baby. Dash a crazy. Hang on. I need to get a moment's peace so I can read what you said. 3 games this year. Arc Raiders is 40 bucks. Pre-order. Oh my god. Okay, Rocket Baby, I'm gonna pre-order Arc Raiders, man, and then let's play together, okay? That's insanely generous of you. Thank you, dude. Holy crap. Thank you. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. Yeah, okay. I guess Arc Raiders is one of the games I'm going to be playing this year. What is this Helldivers 2 trailer? Which one? Are you watching a silly little Helldivers video? How do I get more of my friends to play Halo, specifically the campaign? It's a good question. What I would say is, what could be a lot of fun is get pizza, have your friend come over, play on the original retro hardware if you have it, like rather than the MCC version, and just be like, yo, you want to play the original Halo games on their original hardware? We'll get a pizza. Come over at night. We'll do it at night. And that could be fun. Because then the novelty, you know, is also a little bit of you playing it on retro hardware. I think you will like it and want to make videos about it. I believe you. If you're that enthusiastic about it. Isn't it made by the same developers who did The Finals, right? Embark Studios. And Embark Studios, their fan base is very, very zealous. Not in like a bad way, by the way. Very much in a good way. Like, it's a studio that has earned a lot of goodwill with its community, and they've become almost like evangelists for Embark Studios and their games. Like, the amount of people that have told me to just shut up and play The Finals. Like, I've never seen that kind of enthusiasm before for a game. Oh, there's the one on the TV. He showed up to his family and like got ate by a monster. And then it was like, has this ever happened to you? Yeah, Helldivers is a lot of fun. Helldivers is funny. It's, the context is that Earth at some point has been completely taken over by a fascist government that brainwashes its citizens by convincing them that what they actually live in is an advanced form of democracy. It's called managed democracy. AIs vote for the best candidate for you because it claims to know what is the best option. Like, they're so free. They're so free because of managed democracy. All children are given firearms at the age of 16 to encourage them to be in love with military stuff, and then they all get conscripted at the age of 18. All the homes look the same, oh yeah, and I should probably also clarify, because Earth is so great now and humanity is thriving under managed democracy, Earth has been renamed to Super Earth. And yeah, it's very funny, very, very funny. And most of the aliens in In fact, no, all of the aliens in Helldivers 2, the reason that you're at war with them is because Super Earth started it. Like, the bugs, they were just the bugs, you know? They were bugs. Like, they weren't monsters. They were just, like, bugs. Animals. And everything was fine and dandy until Super Earth learned that those bugs, when they decompose, they turn into, a form of oil that is very potent, and things quickly devolved. And over the generations of the bugs being hunted and killed, the bugs have adapted and evolved to be more dangerous and more predatory and more aggressive towards human life forms. So the monstrous aspects of the bugs are kind of Super Earth's fault. The Illuminate, which are kind of like the Covenant, they're aliens, space aliens, they were peaceful until Super Earth met them and realized that they have superior technology, and then Super Earth just declared that they have weapons of mass destruction and that they were going to go to war with them. And then they beat the snot out of them, took all of their technology, and banished them into a wormhole. And they have re-emerged, not as the peaceful species they used to be, but after being trapped in that wormhole for X amount of years, they have turned into a dangerous cult-like species that wants to destroy the human race. Yeah, it's very funny. Very, very funny. Like, every single problem in Helldivers 2, every war that's being fought, it's because Super Earth started it. In Helldivers 2, you are 100% the bad guy. Yes, exactly. So, all the democracy stuff, like, just have fun with it, okay? The community is very funny. The community is very funny, and they're in on the joke. They get it. Like, one of my favorite lines in the trailer about the Illuminate and their arrival is they were like, fight back the aliens and take back control of freedom. And it's like, that makes no sense. That sentence. Take back control of freedom. Skill-based matchmaking is not an evil system in modern multiplayer games. Engagement-optimized matchmaking is way, way worse. Yeah, I agree. But sometimes the two are linked in ways that maybe even the developers kind of don't realize. Like, but yeah, I very much agree. And I think also, honestly, skill-based matchmaking wouldn't be as big of an issue if games weren't so inherently sweaty as part of their core design philosophy. Like, don't worry, I'm not going to get into my slide argument and stuff, but so I remember back in my day, our characters were made out of 3 polygons. No, I'm not going to be like that, don't worry. But I remember Black Ops 2 was probably like the last traditional, or not even, no, because that makes me sound freaking old. That makes me sound like an old man yelling at a cloud. No. It was the last of like the golden era COD games. And I remember the way that old COD games from the golden age used to work is when you mantled an object. This is going to sound really freaking nerdy and like, who cares? When you mantle an object in Call of Duty, because those games are so primitive, your weapon model would disappear off the screen, and your camera would, like, do this bob down, and then, whoop, and it would kind of hoist itself up, and you'd pop up to the top where you were climbing, then your weapon would pop up onto the screen, and it was like, you get it, you know, it's without actually making like an arm animation and stuff, you get the idea that your guy is holstering his weapon so he can climb up a thing. Call of Duty Ghosts made it more seamless. They added better production value to it where your weapon is on the screen and it's kind of being, and you could see your hand reach down over the ledge and there you go. But they also let you fire your weapon while you were doing it. And COD Ghost sucked. COD Ghost had so many problems, so it wasn't even like much of an issue. But then the advanced movement era started, like the jetpacks and stuff like that. And everyone was so focused on the jetpacks, but what I noticed also is that vaulting over things got faster. Like, you could do it way faster, and the threshold for what ledge you could climb was taller. Like, I've talked a lot in the past in my insane ramblings about there being a bus. I forgot which Call of Duty it was, but you could clamber up the bus. You do a little jump, and now you're on the roof of the bus. And I don't know if you guys have ever stood in front of a school bus before, but they're very tall. Very, very tall. And Call of Duty, during the jetpack era, if you don't use your jetpack, you can just scale a school bus. And Black Ops 4, not a jetpack era game, but the clamber that was introduced in the jetpack era, like that school bus scaling clamber ability, was kept. So you could scale really, really, really tall things, like irrationally tall things for a human to scale. And on top of that, they gave you unlimited sprint, so you were never slowing down when you initiate a sprint. And you were scaling things faster than Golden Age COD games. And then, of course, the Warzone era came, and things were made a little bit quicker. Tactical sprint, sliding became like the whole meta. And these subtle little things have gotten faster, more easy to do, more easy to execute. And it kind of feels like the jetpack era it never ended. It just became like, well, now instead of jetpacking everywhere, you're sliding and climbing everywhere. And I feel like skill-based matchmaking, yes, it is due to engagement purposes. They want people to have safe places to play the games, play inside your skill bracket. Like, you won't have to worry about, running into, like, crazy coked out COD fans. But also a lot of it is just that the coked out COD fans, this isn't your grandpa's Black Ops 2 anymore. Call of Duty builds into itself now so many more tools to be the sweatiest player in the match. Like, if some of the COD fans knew what was coming back when we were all playing Black Ops 2, we would be like, dude, we're going to crack open Call of Duty like an egg. Like, they're not ready. And in order for Call of Duty to get back to feeling chill, you can remove the skill-based matchmaking all you want, but it's not going to remove the issue of the coked-out COD fans have a toolbox of ways to just bullshit their way through combat and traversing maps. Like, they're too fast, way too aggressive. And they can say, it's a skill ceiling, it's a skill gap. Like, you learn and you get better. And, like, what if Black Ops 2 had a skill gap, right? Like, there was nothing wrong with that game. Surely they almost seem like addicts, where they're like, no, I like it, it's good. I just don't like skill-based matchmaking, that's the problem. And it's like, you gotta give it up, man. The thing that you like is killing the game. If COD wants to become chill again, we've got to also chill out the gameplay a little bit, and that involves giving up some of these mechanics, like slide. There's a reason that those older Call of Duty games felt chill, and it wasn't just because of skill-based matchmaking. And it's okay, there is still a skill gap in those old COD games. Like, if you're content with a sweaty Call of Duty game, then that's one thing, but if you want COD to feel like it did in the Golden Age, you can't just remove skill-based matchmaking. You also got to walk back a lot of the aggressive movement mechanics that have been introduced over the years. I don't think slide makes for a very healthy gameplay loop. Just because, I mean, with Black Ops 6, the Omni movement has made the slide problem so much worse. But, the issue of there being a doorway and to initiate combat, because you know a player is in the room, the way that you do it is in almost a prone position, moving into the room at very, very quick velocity, and then instantly transitioning into a crouch stance suddenly. Like, you're on the floor, now you're in a crouch. And when you're on the floor sliding, it's your body is, like, protecting your head, and you're firing your weapon while doing it. And, you know, in some COD games, they even let you aim down the sights while you're doing that. And then, if you're a really skilled player, you can go from a slide on the floor into a jump. So you go from the floor to the air immediately. And that's how you initiate combat. Versus the older COD games where you could either just run into the room, throw a flashbang into the room, or hop into the room. Like, there were only a certain number of ways that you could approach the problem. And that level of predictability is what made COD feel so chill. But still added a skill gap because you had a couple of options to pick from. Just nowadays, the unpredictability of slide and how you can chain it into jumps and stuff, it's too much. It's too much. Like, you've probably seen those little GIFs, like those little videos that are shared around of Black Ops 6, where just looking at the combat from third person, it looks insane. Like, people are like left, right, backwards. Like, they are sliding in every direction. Like, combat is just like on the floor, and then they'll spring up into the air and then hit the deck again, and there's no body language to follow, you know? I remember being angry at drop shotters in the original Modern Warfare 3. Like, don't get me wrong, drop shotting is freaking annoying, man. But drop shotting isn't going to propel you in a direction, you know? Like, with drop shotting, you're still in the same spot when you do it. The only real, like, slide... The reason slide is done, the intention from developers, is that slide is a transition out of sprint into the crouch stance. Because, I don't know, it doesn't really bother me just because I grew up during that era. But I'd imagine that it maybe bothers some people. Like, picture Halo 4. Or I guess, you know, Call of Duty 4 or something. Imagine that you're clicking down the left stick to sprint, and then you hit crouch, and it's just, you're like, like that. The slide mechanic is at least a transition into the crouch stance, you know? It's not so just like abruptly now you are crouching after moving so quickly. And that's kind of like the well-intentioned... I'm going to die, aren't I? There we go. The well-intentioned design goal of a slide mechanic. But unfortunately, the slide mechanic has turned into an aggressive tool because of good players that learn how to use it well. And it's become something it was not supposed to be. And I think it has done more harm than good to most online games that have a slide mechanic. And we won't do it, but I wish that there would be some game that would just say, no, we don't have a slide. Like, if you crouch while you're sprinting, you just crouch. But for some people that are not used to that, it maybe is, like, too outdated feeling. It's too janky feeling. So I wish... What I actually like Helldivers does... Helldivers, when you're running and then you hit the crouch... your little Helldiver dude, he does this thing where he's like... with his feet and, like, brings himself to a halt. Like, picture in real life if you were running, if you were sprinting, and somebody told you... Stop running and be in a crouch stance. You'd probably start, you know, like using your legs to stop yourself. You know, you'd kind of like shimmy a little bit, you know, as you bring yourself to a halt and then you crouch down. That's what your Helldivers dude does. And it's not a slide. Damn it. Okay. How do you tag people on mobile? I'm going insane. What are you talking about, pooping pills? Something else scary is happening. We released Chief and Rex. Oh, they're released? Okay. I'm going to have to give that a look. Hang on, I'm going to go get an energy drink quickly. So you guys wait right there. All right, guys. The drink of choice for tonight is V8 Energy. Pomegranate, blueberry. The experience of playing Nocturne and Toten in a Halo game is wild. Yeah, right? Oh. And it's only possible since Microsoft owns Call of Duty. Common. There we go. It's a little bit clunky. Pretty sure LNG is 27 or somewhere close. God, I wish. I wish I was still 27. I could not click with Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer gameplay. It was just too weird and sweaty for me. Well, I found a way, actually, to have fun in Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2. And, you know, these Warzone-era CODs, the CODs of the matchmaking. Of the matchmaking. The skill-based matchmaking kind. What I've learned to do is I just do not slide, ever. I don't slide. In Call of Duty, I will not use it. And thankfully, some of the modern Call of Duty games, they actually let you unbind slide. They let you disable it, so you'll always do like a dolphin dive. And the reason I do that is not because like I'm being petty. It's more because the skill-based matchmaking in modern Call of Duty games, it does not just track your kill to death. It's actually a little bit more insidious than that. It also tracks where you move on maps, where you aim down the sights, where you reload, where you slide, and what you do after you slide. That's creepy, right? So in Modern Warfare 2019, I think it was around Cold War when I learned that your movement and especially your sliding is actually a factor in skill-based matchmaking. When I learned that, I just don't slide now. And what I found is actually I show up in a lot of chill matches. Things are a lot more chill. Things are a lot more calm. I don't see a lot of movement sweats. But that's a band-aid fix. You know, that's like a part of the gameplay is just not fun. A part of the game is not fun, and the game is always tracking what you're doing, so you just avoid that, and then the game throws you into lobbies where it's not happening. And it's like, but it's happening for a lot of people, and they don't like it. And I think the solution would be just straight up removing it from the game and giving everyone a more chill experience. I swear, LNG always has cool skins for this game. What are you talking about? This is the default assault rifle skin. The reason I have it is because I like the dust on it. Here, let me find a spot with some light. Do you see the grain? The grains of, like, dirt and stuff, the little scuffs, the little scratches? Like, the artists on Halo Infinite spent a shit ton of time on the base default skins for this game, like, after the Craig demo. You know, because they want the weapons to look good. So they built in this, like, oh, man, I'll have to ask, like, somebody who knows a little bit about texturing, but it's this layer of dirt that feels like it adapts and recolors itself to be appropriate for the environment you're in. Like here, it's very like dusty, very dirty, very scratchy. But I noticed on like the desert themed maps, it looks almost like grains of sand that are stuck on the assault rifle. You know, little bits of like sandy dust. It's some kind of shader that they've applied that looks really cool. And I found that it makes the assault rifle look less plasticky. Because when you put on a skin for like some of the weapons, they do take on a more plasticky look because you lose that little dirt shader, whatever that thing is. Oh my god. What's happening? No! Oh, he's talking about the BR? Okay. Yeah, the BR skin is cool because I like that it makes the the scope very, very blue. Hey, LNG, do you still stand by the BR reload is still bad? I do. The BR reload in Halo Infinite is bad. It's a not good reload animation, and I will show you. Because you all need to understand. I won't be able to rest unless you understand. Okay. Give it a second. That's bad looking. That's very bad looking. That's also bad looking. Cause okay, oh my god, I sound so stupid. Look at when after he's done meleeing, he tosses it into the air to himself. You can see the keyframes for the motion, and you can see that the assault rifle is like jittering in a path, and that path is probably the dots of motion, the keyframes that the animation is supposed to follow. Usually it's more polished than that. But I can see it. I can see that the assault rifle is not seem like it's not, whoa, you know, and then falling into my hand. I can see that it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it lands in my hand. Like the transition is all fucked up for some reason. Like that doesn't look smooth. It looks jittery. And then the fully empty reload. So, okay. I think what they're trying to do is you take it out, magazine is lined up, then slammed in, and then you're pulling the thing down, letting it go, and in the letting it go, the kind of force of it shooting back up is used to kind of propel it back into your hand. But the way that it's animated, it's got this, like, it looks like the hand looks robotic. It looks stiff. The way it's gripping the magazine is really weird. And then when he grabs the bolt, the hand covers up, like, the whole gun, so you can't really see what's going on. It's very fast. That doesn't count. That animation doesn't count because that's from Halo 5, and that animation actually looks polished. Just look at it again. The putting in the magazine, something almost looks broken about it. Like the animation freezes for a second, and then it just click, click, and then the and it just awkwardly lands back in your hand. Something about it doesn't look right. It feels really rushed and kind of sloppy and messy. Can you slow it down? I cannot slow it down, but what we could do actually is go into mode editor. This is crazy. We are like, give me a second. Let me down a whole bottle of Tylenol, okay? Because we are about to get super autistic and take a look at this. I think let's go for 50%. And then infinite ammo, yes. Okay, let me set the default skins. Yeah, that skin looks very ugly in broad daylight for the battle rifle. This is not a looker in broad daylight. I just like the scope. It turns like a really pretty shade of blue. Then let me also give back the default, so you can get the whole. Let me also view model. View model, let me fix, because I think I got my view models weird. Because I also want to be fair to it, okay? It is an ugly duckling of a reload animation, but I want to represent it correctly, because reload animations can get insanely ugly looking if you mess around with the weapon view model, and that's not the animation's fault. That's you messing around with it, you know? That is a neat Battle Royale skin, says Pooping Pills. You're being silly. Pooping Pills. What about the Helldivers BR reload? Well, Helldivers, I can't really complain about Helldivers. All of the animations in first person look super janky, but also that's because it's a third-person game with third-person animations that are being played in the first person. So it's like, yeah, they're gonna look janky. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Yes. I see what it is, actually. Hang on. It's, okay. There's usually, like, they're like action poses. Think of like a comic book panel, where it's like Spider-Man like pulling his fist back and then kapow, and it's like these action poses, you know, that are like powerful, they're strong, they're striking. You could put them on a poster, you know. They're very well telegraphed. They're very exciting to look at. This game's this gun's posing is almost like universally weak during the reload animation. Like, the putting in of the magazine, it's just like this guh. Like, it's almost like embarrassed to be doing it, you know? There isn't any kind of like excitement about it. Do you see how quickly it's over with? And then hang on, let's look at the full reload. I see it. I see what's being done why the magazine almost looks like it's frozen for a second, like the animation's bugged. Do you see that? He puts it in and it catches the rifle to line up, and you can see his finger doing the thing to line it up, and then he pushes it in when he's confident that it'll go in. But the speed of the animation, because of the speed of the default BR reload, it just looks like, you know, magazine's out, and then it looks like a weird pause in the action for no reason, and then it keeps going. And it's supposed to be in 3 parts, like magazine out, magazine in, bolt charged, we're ready to go. But that lining up of the magazine is almost like a 4th aspect to it. So it's like magazine out, line up, magazine in, bolt charged. And the animation can only be so long, so it looks almost like it was supposed to be animated for a slower reload. And then for balancing reasons, the reload had to be X amount of seconds long. So this animation just got like decimated because they sped it up too much. So the action doesn't look natural. Yeah, look at that. At a slow speed, it doesn't look too bad. Look at this. Unfortunately, there's nothing fixing that. But you know what? In my spare time, I am going to record this slowed down version of the animation. And in editing, I am going to tweak. I'm going to ramp up and down different aspects of the animation to see if I can keep the actual time, the reload time the same, but see if I can get across what it was trying to do. Because it flows better in slow motion. See, like that doesn't look good. That looks like you're reloading underwater, you know? And it's because this animation was designed to be fast. So this just ends up looking like the Spartan's like drunk or something, or, you know, he's underwater. This, though, looks better. Here, let's check out the needler. Like when the handle is pulled back, the rifle jolts up. Let me see. I think what it's trying to do, the way he pulls the bolt back. When he lets go, the little bolt, boom, like it rams the thing closed, and the force of it suddenly going up like that pulls the whole rifle up in your hand. It is a little bit awkward looking. Hang on. It's a little bit awkward looking, I can see. Like, I think it works better in slow-mo, but honestly, what might have flowed better, because you would have had less of that, like, we're going up, but now we've got to put it down. What probably would have worked better is an HK slap. Like, magazine out, magazine in, slap the gun to close the thing, but also bring the gun down into the firing position. Like one motion to get everything back to where it needs to be. That probably would have flowed better. Me commenting on this video game animation, which was done by somebody with way more talent than me. You guys want to see an animation error for the disruptor that I noticed during the beta for this game? Did they fix it? No, of course they didn't. It's still there. Okay, look at this, okay, hang on. I've got to find something that I can use as an in-game arrow to what I'm talking about. Fuck. Because this after I saw it, I can't unsee it. Now I need, you guys need to share the pain. Sorry, looking for a pointer, because I can't be like, Dad, look at the screen right there, because you know you're not in the room with me. You know what? Perfect. Okay, this thing right here. This is the arrow. This is like my finger pointing. Okay. Do you see this metal part here? Like the brace that is going over the magazine, right? You can see that it's part of the same metal that makes up the disruptor. That brace that is kind of covering the little magazine, when you reload, look, it's clipping. That back piece, look, it's clipping right through that metal part. Here, hang on, sorry. Let me back up a little bit. Look, he pops the thing out. That little thing on the back kind of opens up. But it opens up by clipping right through that metal brace. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully the pointer helped. Yeah, and that hurts. Okay, let's hop back into matchmaking. My Shih Tzu just waddled out of his bed, did a crazy stretch, farted, and went over to the cold floor and just laid down and did a satisfied... Like, I just watched it happen. That was like a man who's enjoying his life. This is how cooked AAA gaming gets. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. It's not game ruining. It's just funny. Like, the animation is so fast that you wouldn't notice that. It's just funny. Almost makes me wonder what the conditions were for when it was being developed. Like, was the animation done for the weapon? Or was there a block out? Like, the model was still being designed. All they had was concept art, and they made the animation on the block out of the gun. And then, when the animation was done, art finalized what they wanted the disruptor to look like, and then the disruptor's model was made, and the animations were just applied to it, and you get that unfortunate little accident. Did you see Willie Osso's new video? Apparently there's a glitch on Snowbound that once you see it, you can't unsee it. What is the glitch? Is it the MCC glitch where all of the Covenant shaders are wrong? Because I know on the MCC, Snowbound's Covenant stuff doesn't look right. Come on. Let me see if I can grab that. That's a free 400 points. Seeing as how the Mutilator's animations were done before the model, it would probably be the same for the Disruptor. Yeah, so that might be what happened. I don't think that's like, Kid AAA Gaming is cooked. Do you see that clipping? I think it's just, it's a peek into the development process. You're like, got it. That animation was done before the model was even finalized, you know? Like, it's not like a doom and gloom thing. It's more of just like a fun little, like, that's interesting. Gosh, and you guys would have no idea, like, oh my god. So, yes, video games are not movies. You know, the whole cinematic frame rate 30 or 24 FPS is cinematic 30, 60 FPS, like blah, 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 blah. Animation, though, can be designed around a frame rate target, and that frame rate target can designing around that target can also allow you to disguise things that don't make sense. The Combat Evolved Magnum, when you smack and then flip it to yourself, on the MCC, the handgun is so freaking big on MCC that you can see it, and the frame rate is so high that you can see as it's spinning, it's clipping through Chief's hand. And if you were to play on the original hardware or at 30 frames per second, you would not see that clipping, because that clipping is not actually there. It was animated at 30 frames per second, so the flip, like the frames of animation, none of those frames are clipping through the player's hands, you know? Like, that clipping was introduced via, you know, like those techniques like interpolation, how it'll take, like, Bugs Bunny, and it'll see Bugs Bunny is animated at like 12 frames per second or whatever, and it will kind of add in extra frames. So it'll smooth it out to look like 60 FPS. But none of those extra frames were actually done by an artist. It was done by the software, what it thinks the extra frame would look like. So some of the frames are fucked up. You know, they look really weird and like slimy and watery and just really odd looking. That's essentially what some of the animations on the MCC are like, because they are taking animations designed at 30 frames per second and then figuring out how to fill in the extra bits to get that animation up to an unlimited frame rate. And some of the time it ends up looking really funny. Wait, this isn't Zod Combis? What the hell? Also, evening! Evening, Andrew. How you doing, buddy? I appreciate the $2 Australian, man. How are things going in the land of spiders? Oh boy. This is a new mode in Halo Infinite, and it's clearly inspired by Call of Duty Zombies. And they can do it and put it into matchmaking because Microsoft owns Call of Duty. Like the 2 matches ago, we were playing on Nocturne Toten. God, wouldn't it be crazy to see Nuketown in matchmaking? Okay, we got double points. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to go for the mystery box. Gosh, I don't want the commando. What I want... I mean, this is, you know, fine. But what I need is I need the heat wave. Because if you pack-a-punch the heat wave, and you come... If you pack-a-punch... Keep repacking the heat wave until you get the shock rifle upgrade, and it essentially becomes a Wunderwaffe. You know, you fire into a crowd, and the lightning will chain to different... Ay, 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 ay. No, no. Double no, because that'll just kill me. Is this a joke? Why aren't I... Come on. I mean, we'll use that. We'll see if that's good, because that wasn't here last time I played the mode, you know? Man, okay. Whatever. Screw you, Bucks! Getting hotter every day. Seen the stuff I posted? Did you post stuff in the Discord? I'm gonna have to take a look at it. I assume it's in the Discord, right? I'm gonna have to pack-a-punch this thing. Because it genuinely, it was not in the mode last time it was in matchmaking. And I'd imagine this thing would be great. There we go, we got him up too. Okay, you know what? No, this thing might not be great, actually. Because you have to get really close to them. Okay. You know what else is like COD Zombies? Firefight. Firefight's different from COD Zombies. Because Call of Duty Zombies is like economy focused. You know? Like you start with nothing and you gradually kind of like build up your toolbox of things and mechanisms to survive. You know, and the enemies, they get faster, they get stronger. They're very linear, the enemies, you know, they're zombies. They come at you in waves. Firefight is a lot more like, well, it's a firefight. Like, Firefight is like the fantasy of, man, I almost wish that Firefight could have, like, an aesthetic grounding of a crashed pelican near your spawn. Because that's the vibe it gives. You know, it gives the vibe of, like, your bird went down. The guys who downed it now are coming to finish the job, you know. And you're just kind of, like, circling the wagons, hunkering down, and getting ready for a firefight, you know. Nice. Okay, let's try pack-a-punching. Okay. Jeez. A rocket launcher shotgun? Okay, it doesn't affect the melee at all. I mean, this is going to be hella dangerous, though, so we can't keep this. Okay, and it doesn't affect the alt fire. I mean, I guess maybe we could keep it, but I'd have to fire in this mode when I'm in close range, you know? Otherwise, it's going to kill me. Oh, gosh, I'm just so conflicted. That's what I like. I like this thing, but I'm also worried that I'm worried that I'm gonna get caught. Look, right there, my shields are down. I should not be in this situation. My shields should not be that... My shields should not be down, you know? I'm worried that I'm being encouraged to play recklessly. I don't know, maybe I can keep it in my pocket, because on the other hand, I like that I can get myself out of a jam, you know? Yeah, I think I'll keep it in my pocket. Oh boy, that was... I've just fired a rocket launcher. Practically at my feet. That's not good. Okay, let me revive. Let me revive. Let me also share my points, because I have enough points, at least for a little bit. I might actually buy super credits. I think it's okay to buy super credits, to be honest, Isaiah. You can also earn super credits by just playing the game. You can find them at outposts and points of interest, usually in 10 super credit increments. But they are there, and you can find them. I got myself a war bond called Control Group, and I got it by farming super credits. You know, popping into a location with a jetpack so that I can get to places quickly, searching all of the points of interest, and then when I feel like I've gotten everything I can out of the map, I just quickly end it. Actually, I think you can even just leave the game and you keep the super credits. But I see no qualms in buying the war bonds, because the war bonds actually give something of value that battle passes, I don't think, do. Which is gameplay stuff. Like I want to preface that by saying, obviously in a PvP environment, like paying for weapons and stuff maybe gets a little bit, like, you know, we could have a conversation about that because it's complicated. But in Helldivers, which is entirely PvE focused, I don't necessarily mind paying for gameplay related content, because I'm enjoying the game a lot, and I would like to pay for more things for the game, you know? That are not cosmetic, like things that actually tangibly change the gameplay experience. Like, hell, I wish Zombies went back to a map pack format. I know there's some people who disagree, and they have good reasons to disagree. But I feel like the maps had more, a little bit more originality, a little bit more uniqueness when they weren't like free for everybody. Like, gotta recoup the costs by making it super safe. At least it's not Destiny. At least it's not Destiny. No, it's not complicated. You do not paywall weapons. I think it depends. It depends on the context of it. Like, in Battlefield, for example, like premium weapons, you know, post-launch DLC weapons. Like, I'm talking about like the prior Battlefield games, like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. Those games had a shit ton of weapons. Like, a shit ton. So when a new expansion releases and it also comes bundled with some more guns, I'm like, that's okay. Like, the base game has so many weapons already. Like, I genuinely don't mind that, because I'm probably not going to be seeing a lot of those DLC weapons. Like, other people are going to be using them, and when I do see them, it's like the moment-to-moment gameplay of Battlefield is so fast, you know, it takes 4 to 5 shots to kill somebody with most rifles, so it's like, and the maps are so big, and there's so many players, and there's so many factors and variables that go into the combat, like tanks, vehicles, where you are, where the enemy is, and stuff, that it's like, if a guy got a SPAS 12 shotgun because he had Battlefield Premium, that's that's okay. You know, he can run around with his SPAS 12 shotgun. I might see him once in the match, and it doesn't ruin my gameplay experience. It doesn't give him an unfair advantage. Here, let me give them some of my points. I also don't mind Mass Effect 3's multiplayer add-ons. It was a ton of fun. Yeah. That's actually a good that's a good one, because people really liked Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, and I kick myself for missing out on it, because it was apparently like a really damn solid horde mode. Like, in a world of shitty cash-ins, you know, remember when Dead Space 2 got multiplayer? Mass Effect 3's multiplayer shoe-in was apparently a lot of fun. Damn it. Battlefield has a problem with microtransactions for progression. I guess, again, it kind of like depends on if you actually think that it's paying for an advantage, because Battlefield's combat, it's too quick. The infantry combat, when you see another player and you start firing your weapon, it's too fast for, like, oh my god, they bought every assault rifle available. And it's like, well, be super interested to see how well that does, because the assault rifle they start off your multiplayer career with is really damn good. Yes, got a few more. I will post forthwith, Cecilios. Okay, I'm going to check that out then after the stream. I'm going to pop into the Discord and see what's going on. Posted the latest videos. You will be pleased, I think. Oh, okay. There's a lot of stuff that I missed. LNG, what are your thoughts on the recent resignation of 343's art director? Oh, man. Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about this. Yeah, I saw Rebs Gaming's report on it. I talked to him a little bit about it. I think it's AI related. I'll let him like figure out, you know, the sauce. I think it's a combination of AI as well as studio culture change. The AI stuff I think is a little bit more concerning. Like, not end of the world concerning, but the studio culture stuff I'm actually not quite as bothered by. Just because with a massive shakeup, with a massive shakeup, like Bonnie Ross is not there anymore. All of these friends, coworkers, and what haves you are not there. Like, it's going to feel like a very different workplace, and all the new bosses, they will not have as much history with you, so you'll feel kind of like standoffish a little bit. You'll feel like they don't respect you quite as much, and I think 343's culture, 343 Industries seemed like a fun place to work for veterans who had been at that company for a while, but I don't think their studio culture led to good games, you know? Or, no, that's mean. It did not lead to uber successful games and speedy, focused video game development, you know? Boy. So the shakeup in leadership, I'm still interested to see what the actual finished product, what they release is going to be like before I'm like, oh no, they have leadership issues, because Glenn Israel quitting when he was kind of the last of the art guys, it's like, yeah, I guess I'd feel lonely too at that point if you're like the last guy left. What he said, though, about integrity and stuff is why I'm fairly certain it's AI related. And that does worry me. Like, what I understand about Halo Studios, because Halo Studios is different. Like, there will be dysfunction and stuff, but there will be dysfunction, there will be issues with leadership, but let's be very clear, it's going to be a different kind of dysfunction and leadership issues, just because so much has changed there. And from what I understand, a lot of the problems or the feelings of kind of like the reason that a lot of the old 343 folk keep leaving and leaving on seemingly bad terms is because Pierre Heinz is a producer. He is a producer first and foremost. He's not a creative guy. He's a producer guy. And what I mean by that isn't like in like a mean way. It's more like so what Pierre Heinz thinks about, you know, how there's some folk that will spend a shit ton of time on a game, like they'll take as much time as they need, and they really care about the art, the details and stuff. And then the job of a producer is that they kind of hover over the artists and make sure that they get their shit done really quick, because what the producer doesn't really give a fuck about the art. He doesn't care about the creative stuff. He cares about the creative stuff in that it gets money. And so the producer's job is basically to make sure that the creatives kind of like pick up the pace, like make sure that you're doing your creative stuff not, you know, stay within budget and make sure that it gets done quickly because I want this project to make money. And there is value to having producers. There's good because a lot of bad video games, a lot of really bad video games that have come out are because there were basically no producer type people. It was like almost all creatives, and they never got anything done because they were taking too long. And 343 Industries, from what I've gathered over the years, they're producer types. It was like, you've got like your business folk, you've got your producers there and stuff, just like anybody else does, but the producer type people were not very good at it, and the creative people quite often spent way too long getting stuff done, and they kind of created problems. They created kind of points of congestion during the development process. But now with Pierre Heinz, it seems like 343 Industries has started to shift more in the direction of being like mostly producers now. And a lot of the creatives there are starting to feel very, like, not burnt out, but, like, drained, you know, unsatisfied, because, you know, Pierre Heinz is more interested in, like, I don't care, get it, ship, get it out there, get the content made, get it out, now. Like, don't stop, don't think about, you know, like, the polish and the presentation and stuff, just do it quickly and then get it out. Because he's thinking about it in a producer mindset. He wants to keep it cheap, wants to keep it fast, wants to keep the treadmill going. And interestingly, Bonnie Ross, from the stories that I've heard about Bonnie Ross, what made her not a very good studio head was not because she was like a soulless money person. The stories that I've actually heard is Bonnie Ross sometimes would sacrifice business to listen to the creatives. Like, she'd go back and forth on a lot of decisions because she kind of valued everybody's input, including the creatives. And sometimes really smart business decisions were passed up because the creatives wanted to do something else or spend more time on something. And she listened to them and was like, okay. Like, basically, they needed somebody who's more sociopathic to lead the studio. Bonnie Ross cared too much about what the artists were saying, is what I've heard. which is wild to say, but... Keep in mind that you can do remote detonations on the grenades the enemies drop in this game. You can? Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I'm kind of on Pierre's side. Halo Studios can't afford to just muck about with tons of concepts that never come to fruition. Yeah, I definitely agree there. There's urgency. Like, I remember hearing... God, when was this? When was this? 2023? 2022? It was the last time that I was part of the Forerunner group before I left. Apparently, Pierre Heinz had been kind of raking everybody through the coals and being like, I mean, not in like a mean way. Like, I've heard Pierre Heinz isn't mean, but he's kind of like, finally, like, what is going on in the development process that makes it so difficult to even get, like, a tweak to a map done? You know, like, why is it taking so long? For everything, even small things to get done for our live service content rollouts. Like, wanting to expedite things, speed things up, streamline, smoothen things out, and I do think that there is a level of that needs to be done. The concern would be that when you've got a thing that is only run by producers, you get kind of like, you know, the problem of quality with the Marvel movies? After the Infinity War saga was done, and then you had, you know, like the Disney Plus shows and like Doctor Strange thing, and like, that is the result of not a lot of creative visionaries in charge. That's the result of, like, the producers coming in and kind of, like, running the show, where it's like they see it as content, not as an individual creative piece of art. So it's just like, where's the content? The content needs to be done. More content. Like, okay, that content is out. They have their content, the audience. Let's move on to the next piece of content. And it's like, if the content, you know, if like the show isn't good or whatever, they're just like, okay, that piece of content did not work. Let's look at the data. Let's try a different approach. What content are other people putting out? Like, there's an emotional detachment that can sometimes be reflected in the products themselves. Ghost of Yotei costed $60 million to make. Is that true? $60 million? That's so cheap. compared to some of the other developers' development budgets that we've seen. Where's Andrew? Is Andrew still in here? Like all things, there needs to be a balance, says Monty Ricard. Yeah. Yeah, there needs to be a balance, like a very, very delicate balance. LNG, there's a doorway that has an extra thing copy and pasted onto it on Snowbound. It's on the base 362. Apparently it was fine in the Halo 3 beta, but it was messed up in the retail version. Okay, that's interesting. That's like in Halo 3 on the Xbox 360, the destroyed machine gun turret texture, like, you know, when you blow up a warthog and the machine gun turret pops off of it, and then it's like smoldering, you know, the ruins. The machine gun turret texture is fucked up. It's the wrong one. And so it's like all fucked up and weird looking, but just like nobody has ever stopped to look at it. And apparently it was accidentally fixed on the MCC version. Because when MCC launched, that fucked up turret texture was still there, and then some update accidentally fixed it. Hey, yo, what's this? Infection game, or is it like COD Zombies with its rounds? Yes, it's like COD Zombies with rounds, PvE, points. See, wave 1. You can see our points, actually, at the bottom of the screen. There, you can see I have 100 points. I think the team total has like a collected 350 points. That's what that stands for. There is a pack-a-punch machine. This is how you revive people. No in-game volume. Is it that quiet? Turn it up. And the rounds get faster and faster, which means, you know, we need to begin branching out, getting ourselves some perks. There's double tap up there. Let me get this. Okay, here we go, wave 3. Every now and then there's like a special round that introduces a new enemy type. You get a max ammo after beating the round. How many players? This is actually awesome. 4 players, just like Call of Duty Zombies. And what's cool is Nocturne Toten is a map in the matchmaking pool. Because Microsoft now owns Call of Duty, so yeah, one of the maps you can play on is Noct from World at War. Oh, and it has the power-ups as well, like the enemies you can see right there. That thing, I believe, is double points. So hang on, let me go get it. Yeah, there we go. Oh, and somebody just picked up an insta-kill, too. So we got double points and insta-kill. It's cool. It's really cool. You can upgrade each of your perks 4 times. And you can actually see, my damage is 3 out of 4. So there we go. I just got the final upgrade for damage. So now my double tap is maxed out. I need to look for Juggernog now. Yeah, it's a damn cool mode. And it's also a great way to farm XP. Oh boy. But I'm out of ammo right now. Ammunition. Yes, please. I'll take that. This was available last Halloween, and it's really, really, really good fun. Here's Juggernog. Okay. All right. Upgraded it once, twice. Oh boy. Special round. Berserker Brutes. If we kill them all, we get... There we go. We got our max ammo. Oh, and everything is now half off. Somebody picked up a half off. Okay, so I've fully upgraded my my Juggernog. Yeah, so see now Berserker Brutes are going to be part of the everyday rounds, and I think the elites now are shifting to cloaked elites. Oh, somebody's down. So, when somebody goes down, it's not like Call of Duty Zombies, you know, where they're crawling around on the ground. Come on, we gotta punch through them. We've got to physically run over to the revive. Boop. And there is actually music, okay? There's music playing. There are voiceovers. Jeff Steitzer is the Zombies announcer. So, you know, when you pick up a nuke, he'll go, boom! When you pick up max ammo, he'll go, locked and loaded. You know, he'll go, wave start. But I have all of that turned off right now, just so that I can concentrate. Because this mode has a lot going on, and I have to hold a conversation with you guys while not dying. And that's already hard enough. Oh, I've already got full health. That's right. Oh, God. I should have gone for the box while it was half off. Okay, let's get through here. Also, the bonus of playing this mode, what makes it good to grind and play is that it gives a ton of XP. So if you're trying to get to max rank, you get to play this really fun Call of Duty Zombies-like experience, and you get to rank up really fast. So everybody wins. Oh God, somebody's down. Let me out! I'm gonna go down! Crap! Let me see if I can get that guy up. There we go. Whew. Okay. Damn it! Okay, I killed myself with my own weapon. That was embarrassing. What's going on? Who hates who? I see something about people hating something. He isn't that good. He quits the game till he gets easy lobbies. Are you guys talking about Mint Blitz? Leave Mint Blitz alone. He is good. Look, like, quitting the game until you get an easy lobby, like, that is one of those things where I can't prove or deny that. But some of the things he pulls off in Halo, regardless of if it's an easy lobby or not, the ability to move like that while making your shots, that does require skill, you know? Even if I was in the easiest bot lobby in the world, I wouldn't be able to pull off some of the maneuvers that Mint Blitz has done. Ah! Okay, I gotta shoot the grenades that are on the ground. Or I could just, you know, die. That works too. Talking about how Reddit hates Mint Blitz. Reddit is obnoxious. I mean, it's good for, like, getting, like, my news, because unfortunately, a lot of the news is not very reliable, like the mainstream news. But the Halo stuff is... Sometimes it almost, like, makes me feel like, do any of you guys like Halo? Well, that was my own fault. Rebs is the biggest Halo insider source right now. He has a channel. I'd say folks like Bathrobe Spartan and Grunt.api are a little bit bigger. Because Rebs, bless him. Bless him. But I think he's still learning how to be a leaker. Because Rebs, the stuff he reports is... Sometimes it's not explained very well. It's not explained very well, or it's explained way too simply and leaves out a lot of nuance. You know, or what he's doing is combining old reporting and not explaining that it's old reporting. You know, or just not reporting it very well. I remember him saying, like, you know, I am going to detail how Halo Infinite used to play like Combat Evolved during development. And then he spent 4 minutes saying there was a health pack system, and it was cut from the game. That is why Halo Infinite used to play like Combat Evolved. Thank you for watching my video. And it's not an exclusive report. I've talked about that in the past, and so have others. But also, it's like the strange, awkward delivery. And the fact it's like a health system doesn't just make it like Combat Evolved. Like, there's a lot of nuance to it, you know? But he's learning. He's learning how to deliver, be a little bit more focused in his delivery. And he's grown quite a lot. It's been really cool seeing Rebs kind of like become a leaker, and I hope he continues to learn. Yo-wahoo. I don't know what language I was just talking. Ah! Okay. Let's go this way. I'm very scared that a scary monster will pop out. Oh, thank God. Insta-kill. Hello? Anybody there? There's a cloaked guy. Favorite zombies map and why is it Kino? Oh, we're getting some good. That is a good question to ask. Kino der Toten is not my favorite zombies map. My favorite zombies map is probably God. My favorite zombies map might still be Knocked. I do also really like Verrückt. Derice is like perfect from like a mechanical sense to me. Kino's great, don't get me wrong, but the style of zombies that I really like defensive zombies. Like, I like when it's less aggressive and it's more defensive. So I like it when the map kind of encourages camping. It encourages finding, you know, that holdout position to set up in. And Kino der Toten, I remember back when Black Ops 1 came out, I really didn't like Kino der Toten at first, because there was no holdout spot. There was no corner you could camp in, you know, and aim down the sights and just kind of like let the zombies come in waves and take them down. I mean, after a while I learned that that's not how you play Black Ops Zombies, that you're supposed to run around. Because I was still stuck in, like, the World at War mindset of don't let the zombies get near you. Don't let them touch you. Also, because I just, like, I wasn't good at World at War Zombies, even though I loved the mode. Like, the first perk I would always get in World at War was not Juggernog, it was Speed Cola, because I thought, well, the zombies are coming. They're gonna get me. I need to reload my gun faster, or they will kill me. So, gun faster takes priority over more health. Let's pop this. Holy crap. Okay, that was really, really, really tense. Okay, let's see if this does any damage. Okay, I need to upgrade my damage again. Probably also my health, too. Related to the stuff I posted, how do you feel about... Oh my god. Hang on. Hang on, Andrew. No, don't get that. Don't get the nuke. So many points to harvest. Damn it. Okay. Dash being a base movement mechanic for Master Chief and Quake, like arena, in a Quake arena, like shooter. Ooh. Related to the stuff I posted, how do you feel about a dash being a base movement mechanic for Master Chief in a Quake, like arena shooter, like Quake Champions Doom Edition? It's cool, but I don't know if that's like a Master Chiefy thing, you know? Like dashing is it's a thing that like a lot of games do. And I feel like that should almost be reserved for a character like the Doomslayer, you know, if you were to do like his Doom Eternal version. Like for Master Chief, I'd want to... Yikes. I'd want to think about stuff that is like very, very, like... Stuff in that you can do with the core gameplay that would bring out the Master Chiefiness of him, you know? Backpack reloading from Combat Evolved? I mean, no. That's a little bit too obscure. And you wouldn't be reloading, period, you know? Because it's an arena shooter. Trying to think. Yeah, I guess we'll make do with the calcine disruptor. This is very bad, by the way. Sorry, there's just so much going on. That's why I'm getting quiet. I don't have enough for this. Crap, I'm all out of ammo. This ain't good. Oh no! Oh, am I the last person alive? Yep. Okay. Doris and Call of the Dead are some of my favorites. Oh, I like Call of the Dead quite a lot, because by that point, I got it. You know, I kind of figured out Black Ops was a lot more about movement and running around. So Call of the Dead I really liked. And then, obviously, Kino, retrospectively, after the fact, I realized was actually a great map. I'll tell you what, though. You want to hear a hot, steaming take, like fresh out of the oven? Transit is one of my favorite zombie maps of all time. Like, in my head, if I close my eyes, top 5 zombie maps, Transit's in there. Because Transit, to me, was everything that I was hoping Zombies would push itself into. Like, the defensive aspect of it. I loved the claustrophobia of Transit. It was basically like they took the knocked bunker, super shrunk it down, and made it mobile. And I liked the idea of, like, I'm in my safe, I'm, like, huddling in my little safe space, and all the bad guys are outside. The zombies are out there. I'm in here, and I'm safe. And they're jumping on the windows and trying to get into the bus, and I'm hitting them and get the fuck off. Like, you know, and the fear when they breach the windows and they get into the bus, and I'm like, like, my safe place is, you know, my bunker, it's been invaded. Like, they're gonna get me. Like, that kind of fear. And then also the fear of when the bus stops somewhere and I open the door and I leave the safety of the bus and I need to like run up the road or whatever to get like my thing from that specific stop, and the zombies are spawning and everything's loud, and then just like grabbing my thing and then freaking hoofing it back to the bus and slamming the door closed. Like, that kind of, like, that defensive aspect of Zombies. That's what I like the most. I don't really like when, Zombies is, like, your spawn area is your outside, and the zombies are just spawning in the playable area from the ground, and you're super powerful, and there's all this space for you to run around, and you're just, you know... I like when Zombies is claustrophobic, when it feels dangerous, when you feel like you want to... I like when Zombies have, like, bunkers or buildings that you're in, and it's like, the zombies are out there, and I am in here, and I want the zombies to not join me in here. I need to kill them while they are still out there. You know? And that's a feeling that I think Zombies has unfortunately lost. I mean, it lost it because it's, you know, faster. It's faster paced. But I'm me. I ask since I envision Chief would really suit with having the mod's Unreal Tournament movement class. Unreal Tournament movement champs cannot gain speed by strafe jumping or bunny hopping, but can natively dodge. Well, with the mod's Unreal Tournament movement class, cannot gain speed by strafe jumping. can natively dodge. So would Chief also have a dodge option because he'd be in that class of character? Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I see it. I didn't actually know about that movement class and that they come with a dodge mechanic. So in that case, I can see what you mean. And it would probably make sense then to design it to be Halo-y. You could probably do it in two different ways. You could either do the Halo 5 thruster, which, you know, is just like a thruster pack. Like, it's got the little, like, jet engines. Or you could go the Halo Infinite route, which has that, like, trail, you know, like the energy trail. Or you could go, it would, you know, not sure how you would do it, to be honest. You could go the Halo Reach route and have evade. I also appreciate the $10 Australian. The right way to evolve Halo was to increase the player count. I don't know if that's true necessarily. Halo 64 versus 64, that would be terrible. Like, Battlefield already learned the hard way that there is such a thing as too many players. Like, if I remember right, the way Bungie described it was, the reason that they landed on 8 versus 8 for Big Team Battle was not, like, I mean, there were some, you know, hardware-related concerns, but it was also, like, balancing-related concerns. Because what they found was, I think it was especially around Halo 2, because they wanted to do their epic big Warzone thing experience. But then they ultimately couldn't do that, so they had to kind of like default back to how Halo multiplayer was in Halo 1. What they discovered with like testing and stuff like that is that in a match of Big Team Battle with 8 versus 8, each encounter was typically 2 players, maybe 3 players. Like, that would be the max danger that you would face while running around. And when they up the player count, the amount, if you were to run off on your own, the amount of players that you would encounter were usually 4 to 5. And at that point, statistically, mathematically, you could not get out of that fight alive. Like, it was too many players. And so 8 versus 8 was the sweet spot where whenever you encountered another player or couple of players, there were just enough enemy targets that you would be at a disadvantage, but you could come out of the disadvantage alive if you knew what you were doing. Any higher, and they actually found that it started to become a snowball effect. Oh, hell heed. Yeah, that's a papaya. I love you. And so it was a design choice not to increase the player count as the series went on, and instead keep things as is. And for Warzone, I assume they just, you know, 12 versus 12. Like, I know that the Halo engine can go higher, you know, if they want. But they probably also saw, like, okay, we need to add more players, but we can't go crazy. Let's do some testing. What they probably found was 12 versus 12 pushed the upper limit of what was okay before combat began to fall apart, because there were just way too many players. And even then, in Halo 5's Warzone, sometimes I do think that the problem is there, that there's too many targets. Like, you run into a room and there's like 5 to 6 Spartans. And you can't do anything. There's too many targets. In order to increase the player count so dramatically, you'd have to do fundamental core design changes to how Halo plays. Like, you'd have to make it a very different gameplay experience. Because I think what Halo 5, and to a lesser extent, but it's still there, Halo Infinite's Big Team Battle with 12v12, what it's kind of shown is that the shield system and the whole setup of like Halo multiplayer, what ends up happening when you go beyond 8 versus 8 is it becomes kind of this experience where it's a bunch of players grouped around an opening or like a door, and you're just throwing grenades in through the door. And it's very frustrating to try to move about because you're going to be sniped from a ton of different angles by players from all over the place. Come on! Okay. Quake Champion Doom Edition's dodge acts like an evade mechanically, being a quick horizontal hop in the inputted movement direction, though only off walls / while on the ground. Okay. I assume like an actual roll would be a little bit much. Because then you could have the little icon on your HUD of like the Halo Reach evade armor ability. In my opinion, Halo's sandbox and maps do not support large player counts. Yeah, and that's ultimately if Halo does, and I think that it's a decent idea pursuing like large player counts, but that would require, I think, making a new Halo experience. Like, you'd have to be okay and comfortable with throwing out everything and redesigning the Halo combat loop from the ground up with a large player count in mind. Which means, abandoning some tradition. I feel like I would be okay with Halo doing such a radical overhaul like that if it also came with benefits. Like, hey, we're playing a new Halo experience that we've never had before, these large player count battles. Because I think the problem that modern Halo runs into is it's very scared of doing something different. It's very aware that Halo is a specific thing, and that specific thing means a lot to a lot of people. And so because of that, it's hesitant. What it'll essentially do is it'll take that classic Bungie formula and just glue some things to the side of it. And it usually, when the game goes wrong, or problems, friction happens, it's not because of the core gameplay loop. It's because of the stuff that was glued to the side of that gameplay loop that Bungie established. And if you want Halo to truly work with the new things, you need to be okay with properly giving up some of those old Bungie traditions. Like the loadouts in Halo 4, the reason they didn't work is because the loadouts don't feel good in, like, a classic-style Halo game. Plasma pistol, overcharge it, drain the shields, power weapons, pick them up, like, 4 versus 4 Slayer, like, all of that stuff doesn't feel good when you just bolt Call of Duty loadouts to the side of it, and perks and kill streaks. But imagine if they started out development with just, like this plays completely differently from any prior Halo game, foundationally, And I'm not just talking about, oh my god, the shield tuning is tweaked slightly. I'm talking about, the game has straight-up Call of Duty-style aiming down the sights. Like, you physically lift the weapon up to your eyes and you aim down the sights with it. You can carry flashbang grenades. Like, this game has flashbang grenades, like Call of Duty 4. Like, you'd have to change up so much. Like, the melee attack isn't just smacking with your gun. You have a knife, and you stab the knife into someone when you melee. You'd have to change up everything, you know? And I know everything I was just saying was we're copying Call of Duty, but that's because, you know, Halo 4 was trying to do that. You'd have to be okay with changing up the core Halo gameplay loop. And then the conversation changes to, is anyone okay with that? A bit too much work, yeah. I'd give Chief a passive ability which modifies his movement mechanics so he has CE floaty jumps and is able to dash midair too. Okay, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, then I would say go with... You'd probably want to go with, then, the Halo 5/Halo Infinite Thruster Pack. It would probably distract too much from Chief's silhouette and, like, the Halo look if you did the Infinite style. Because, like, the Halo Infinite Thruster Pack has, like, that energy trail. And that energy trail is there for gameplay reasons. It's so that you can see that another player has a thruster pack. So you'd probably go with the Halo 5 one, right? Where it's, like, internal in the suit. They get stuck in this horrible modernity between classic and modern gameplay mechanics. Yeah, exactly. And it creates, like, friction in the community, because they know that it feels kind of like other modern games, but not quite. And that not quiteness is what doesn't feel right. Like, a lot of folk want the assault rifle to have a headshot multiplayer. They want it to have more range. And when they run around Halo Infinite and they're, you know, pressing left trigger to aim like this, and then they're frustrated that their accuracy isn't quite on par with the battle rifle and that this thing doesn't have a headshot multiplier. Now, classic Halo had a solution, which was you couldn't do that. This thing was hip fire only. So you knew that it wasn't going to be a ranged weapon when you pick it up. But, you know, they want to add some modern mechanics. They want to add a little bit of aiming down the sights to it. But that weird, awkward middle ground where it's sort of aiming down the sights, it doesn't feel quite right. It feels half finished, stuck in a weird limbo. Like, it's clear that 343 Industries and Microsoft have wanted to do new things with Halo, but they've been very worried about straying too far from Halo's core mechanical formula. So they've just, you know, they've been just sort of bolting stuff onto the sides of the Halo formula. And it's always come off as very awkward and inorganic. And sometimes contradictory. Run. Let's run. And when people say that they feel like 343 was in such a rush to get rid of the classic Halo formula, or that they didn't respect the classic Halo formula, I don't think that gives them enough credit. Because you'd be surprised during the prototyping period how different some of their games started out. You know, like how far they pushed things into being a different kind of game and how uncomfortable it made them feel, so they walked it back. Like, there's a lot of things that we take for granted that we don't notice because we just, like, yeah, it's Halo, you know? Of course it's like that, it's Halo. That could not be, that might not be there. Huh? When am I what? What time? I don't think they said. Hold on. 10 o'clock. Okay, yeah. After this match, I think. Some good conversations, though. Dodge doesn't have any visual indicators, mainly audio. It would just be a lot of extra work adding extraneous sprite animations and visual effects. Okay, yeah, so at that point you'd probably just want like the Halo 5 thruster. Excuse me. Halo 4 had a lot of issues in its sandbox, mainly the Forerunner weapons. See, and those issues are due to the friction that the contradictory design elements cause. You know? The game has Call of Duty loadouts. But when they were prototyping Halo 4, the Forerunner weapons did not behave like Call of Duty guns. They behaved like, weird. You know? They were very weird. They were very alien in their function. But players wouldn't equip them in their loadouts. They wouldn't use them because they were too weird. They didn't, like a Call of Duty bro, what's the best perks to run with the stasis rifle that slows down targets? Why should I switch to my pistol to use that to get the headshots when the stasis rifle, which is my primary weapon, freezes that? That makes no sense. My primary weapon should be the gun that, it should be like my M4 carbine. You know, that's the thought process. And so because of that, they had to walk back a lot of the alieniness of the Forerunner weapons and make them feel more like Call of Duty guns, you know? So the suppressor gets turned into just a Forerunner assault rifle. The scatter shot gets turned into a Forerunner shotgun. The binary rifle just becomes a Forerunner sniper, and so on. You know, that's the areas where like the contradictory design kind of creates problems and doesn't allow them to really, you know, if they just didn't have the loadouts, if they had it play more like a classic Halo game, then they could have had their weird alien-y weapons, but they wanted to push Halo in a new direction, and so clinging on to the past kind of, unfortunately, it clashed with the Halo 4 loadouts and caused so much friction and issues that the sandbox kind of suffered as a result, and the game suffered. And there's a part of me that wonders, like, in Halo 4, in the code, there's strings related to aiming down the sights, strings related to clambering, like vaulting, which means that they were exploring those ideas as early as Halo 4, and I'm like, what would have happened if they just said screw it, and they went all the way and completely overhauled Halo's gameplay loop for Halo 4? I wonder if they wouldn't have had so many problems with the sandbox, because they wouldn't have had to feel like there needed to be some kind of feature parity with Halo Reach, you know? Like, no, the plasma pistol has to be the way it is because that's how it functioned in Reach, and we want this game to feel like a Bungie Halo game. And that's not even me saying it would have turned out well, you know? Like, my heart belongs to the Bungie-style Halo games. I love that classic formula, but I do wonder if for the health of the game, if it would have behooved them to throw everything out and design the game from the ground up to support the shit that they were bolting onto the classic formula that wasn't gelling and was creating issues. And same with Halo 5, you know? They clearly wanted aiming down the sights. So I'm like, what would have happened if, rather than descope, they just had, like, flinching, like Call of Duty, you know? No descope, you aim down the sights with your BR, and if you get hit, you just flinch. What would have happened if they just had loadouts for Warzone? Like traditional style loadouts that you could create. What if, you know, the multiplayer mode had, like, 6 versus 6? You know, what if kill times were quicker? What if they just went all in? They just went all in, you know? Don't pretend, don't make a half Halo game, half something else. Just go all in on this idea you want to do. And I wonder if the core game could be stronger as a result of not being, you know, having one foot in that Halo door. Oh, are people talking about adding Halo 5 to the MCC? No, that technically cannot happen. Halo 5 is too large of a game. Halo Reach nearly broke the MCC. Like, squeezing all of Reach's data into the Master Chief Collection was very, very difficult to do. And right now, MCC is sort of at its limits in terms of what can be added to it. Games do have data limits that they reach, where you can't just keep adding to the game. Like, the code begins to break down. The game struggles to kind of pull stuff. Like, their MCC can't get bigger. And Halo 5, which is like, man, the base game, I think, is like 50 gigabytes. Like, no. Too much. Halo 5 cannot fit on the MCC. And that's not even talking about, how you would begin to untangle all of the UI stuff and squeeze that into the MCC as well. Because Halo 5 has accommodations. It has, its skins and stuff. It has stances. It has assassinations. It has, the rec system. Then it has all of those weapon variants in the rec system. How would you get people to earn, let's pretend somehow magically, like, technology jumps 50 years and we figure out a way to squeeze more stuff into the MCC. How would you even begin to distribute the rec weapons? Would you just give everybody every rec weapon off the bat? What about the XP boosts and stuff, and how that factored into the reward loop? And there's a lot about Halo 5 that would be a giant mess to untangle and then redesign for the MCC. Since I have also conceptualized Arbiter as an Unreal Tournament movement champ, I use Reach's evade sound for Arbiter and Infinite Stash sound for Chief. That's good. I like that. That's actually smart. That's clever. Perhaps people here would like to see what I sent. Yeah. Let me see. Here, let me switch over. We just need a proper PC port of Halo 5. I would like that. Because Xbox I don't trust, and getting Halo 5 in its entirety to PC would at least ensure that if Xbox goes down, the entire Halo franchise is preserved online in some way, you know? Let me see this. Looking for you, Andrew. Oh, these are cool. Here, let me add screen desktop so that you guys can see this as well if you're interested. Display capture. There we go. Look at some of these. These are sprites for Quick Champions Doom Edition. I like that it's the Halo Infinite version of Combat Evolved Chief. That it's not like the Combat Evolved Anniversary. Because this Chief armor looks really good. That's cool. Look at that. Let's see this. Oh, this is the spanker. That's fun. There's the shotgun. That's cool. Wow, this is coming along nicely. When is this being added? Okay. That's cool stuff. Do you think Halo MCC and Infinite could work on the Switch too? Ooh, MCC, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it would depend on like the cartridge type. Because I know that certain Switch 2 cartridges have like memory constraints. And I wonder if it would be able to do the whole MCC. Like you'd probably have to install a portion of it to the Switch. Switch 2, I mean. Actually, the Chief and AR models are Marcus Latos. Are they? That's Marcus Latos. The feet, though, are... The feet are... No, they're not, are they? It looks a hell of a lot like the Infinite feet. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. We should port Halo 5 to the N64. Yeah, that's a good place. That's a good thing to try out. For those of you though who have been with me since the beginning of the stream, this was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for joining me for 3 hours. I'm gonna hop off so that I can hop in the shower with my wife. We can kind of get to sleep at a decent time because we've got some electricians coming. We almost had an outlet fire. We there were weird it sounded almost like pebbles being dropped and a weird fizzing sound coming from the electrical box. And yeah, there were scorch marks. So we called the electrician. He got it sorted out, but they are going to be coming tomorrow to finish the job. So we don't know what time. We're going to be getting up early, so I'm going to hop off the stream now so that I can get in the shower with my wife and we can start settling down. Actually, since looking at mod content, would you be cool with showing the Chief reveal trailer? I can drop it in the games chat. Yeah, drop it in the games chat. Yeah, so Monty Ricard, for those of you who don't know, this gentleman he's done a Smash Brothers mod that brings the Master Chief to Smash Bros. And it is pretty damn cool. Here, let me go to YouTube and look it up. Smash Bros. Halo. Well, there's that's so weird. Why can't I wank? It brought me to Mint Blitz. Rex Release 0 reveal trailer. You should call it just Master Chief reveal trailer. I think you'd probably get more views. Because I actually had to scroll down a little bit. The first recommendation was a video from 6 years ago. Video capture. Here, let me Nope. Display capture, there we go. Alrighty, fellers. Here, let me scale filtering? No. Blend mode, transform, fit to screen, there we go. Okay. Okay, you guys can see this? Wait, this is 16 minutes long. Is this the correct one? Okay, let's get to the chief part. Alrighty. This is pretty fun. Also, as an electrician, I got a good idea on what's going on. Yeah, it was the incorrect wires. It was like 16 voltage amps, something like that was being used to power stuff that would go up to like 20. It was something like that. I can't remember right now because I'm tired, but look at that. That's pretty cool, right? Only, if I might, Monty, only thing I would, if I could give a little piece of advice, is the 180 rule. It's a little bit hard to follow the action sometimes because the 180 rule is not followed. Gosh, this trailer, this gives like Smash Bros. Melee energy, doesn't it? And like the poses are on point too. Like during gameplay, like a lot of the stuff there, like it feels like everything he does is like a mini reference to something from across the entire Halo franchise. God, and the armor looks so good. It's not just like a rip. It's not just an armor rip from like Halo Infinite or something. I think the way you described it was supposed to feel kind of like a love letter to every iteration of Chief, right? You definitely get what I mean? Okay. Yeah, in regards to what the issue was. Yeah, wrong size tied to the circuit. Yeah, that essentially what was going on. And finally it was beginning to burn. Like the switch wasn't being, the circuit wasn't being tripped. So it was just staying on and burning.
You do have a plan, don't you?
Finish this fight.
Isn't that cool? I'm going to be downloading the mod actually and playing it. That feels like some stuff from Smash Bros. Melee. Did you see that back there? That was Halo 5 ground pound. Hang on. Look. Halo 5 ground pound, targeting. Whoosh. That's cool, right? Like, everything Chief does has been done in a prior game, and all the poses are on point. And the different costumes you can unlock. Like, right there, you probably saw classic Chief for a second. There's a Halo 3 pose right there. Like, it's freaking cool, man. Yeah, I gotta actually get around to installing this mod. There's just, like, so much going on, but... Halo 4 Chief had the best suit design. You are wrong, sir. That is not correct. Hang on. Halo 4 Chief silhouette. Let's see if there's any just, like, blacked out. I mean, I guess that's fine, but this is AI, ain't it? Here, this is good enough. Like, this is such a mess. Like, the helmet, obviously, you know, you can see that it's, like, Chief's helmet, but look at all this weird stuff. Look at all these sticky outy, weird, greebly, like, he looks like he's got, like, a skin-tight suit that is full of crumpled up pieces of paper. There's all these weird parts of his body where it's just, like, why is it so bricky here and bulgy here? Specifically on his arm. There's just, like, all these where like, here? Look how clean that silhouette is. Look at how clean. Here, we've got the weird bumpiness. Look at this. Look at the shape of the legs versus the shape of the legs here. It's just the classic design for Chief is a stronger profile. It's a stronger silhouette. This Chief just kind of, like, it blurs together and it just kind of becomes very bumpy, very, very not great. And to be fair to Halo 4, like, I don't, like, memes aside, okay? Memes aside, joking, being, like, hyperbolic for comedic effect aside, the greebly, like, all of this trash bolted onto him, there is this constant, like, reminder that it's a guy under there, you know? Like, the reason that the neck is so thin, that the shoulders are so shallow and kind of sunken in, that there's this huge emphasis on stuff bolted onto him, is because it fit the storytelling purpose of Halo 4. You know, I mean, with Halo 5, here, I'll have to get, like, a different render. Here, this is good. Because the Halo 5 one, they made some modifications to it. You can see that there is this huge emphasis all over the armor. Even you can see, like, more of the chin area. I don't want to say chin, like, you know, upper neck. There's this huge emphasis on the human person that is underneath the armor, and the armor looks very much bolted onto him. And that served, you know, a storytelling purpose. Like, that was the point of it. It was supposed to, you know, Halo 4, for better or worse, whether you like it or not, that was the goal of Halo 4. It was supposed to make Chief feel less like a superhero and more like he's a guy with a bunch of armor bolted onto him. It draws attention to the fact he's a human, which reinforces the story purposes. But with the Bungie era Chief, and I guess by extension, you know, Halo Infinite. Though Halo, you know what? Not Halo Infinite, because Halo Infinite does some creative things, actually. People say that's just the classic armor. Not true. Not true. There's a lot of tweaks, slight modifications to it that make it very different. Here, let me see if I can find a Bungie era render. Halo 2, or I guess Halo 3, because that was the most up to date. Like, you can see here, there's nothing. Like, boy is thick. Look at that. Like, you know, you don't look at his chest. Like, you don't get the impression that it's a guy in a suit of armor. He just looks built. He looks jacked. You know, he's got these huge wide shoulders, these powerful, meaty looking arms. Helmet looks perfectly fitting to him. Like, Because the goal of, like, the Bungie Halo games wasn't to humanize Chief. Like, that wasn't the point. He just is Chief. He's badass. He kicks ass. He rocks. Like, it's designed so that no matter what pose he strikes, he just looks so damn cool. And so it's a lot like the Superman logo. Like, it's just that simple design. Like, it stands out at a distance. Even, like, here, you know? Stands out at a distance, draws the eyes. That dude is frickin' powerful. And Halo 4 and sort of Halo 5's goal was more not to make him look a badass, and it was more to draw attention to the fact that it's a human with a ton of armor and metal pieces and stuff slapped onto him. You know, you're supposed to kind of look at how, you know, like, some of this stuff's really bulky, kind of unwieldy, you know. It doesn't fit his form perfectly. And it looks good in close-up because there's a lot of, like, interesting details that you can look at. You know, a lot of things to see on a nice big TV. But from a power stance perspective, from what looks good as a silhouette, as a profile, this just has more aura to me. That looks more powerful. And that's my take. The Halo 4 silhouette is too rigid. It's very greebled up. There's a lot of sticky outy bits. There's a lot of, like, you can see here where it's like the silhouette of the arms are smooth, even though you can see he's wearing, like, a gauntlet here. He's got this thing on the back of his arms. He's got shoulder pads. It's smooth. You can see that it's the silhouette of a man with freaking thunder gun arms, you know? Like, his arms should be registered as lethal weapons. Where in Halo 4, it's a very human-looking person with, like, you can see big. I know that like, the proportions are screwed up here, but you can see the design goal is to draw attention to the fact that it is a human-proportioned human inside a tank-like suit of armor. It's very broken up. It's not very smooth looking. And as a result, I don't think this is a very strong silhouette. Like, it's just like there's all these, like, weird lines and stuff that's slapped there and stuff that's sticking out and kind of breaking up what could be a very solid silhouette. And you can see with Halo Infinite, the old Bungie style informed a lot of the design. Like, look at the definition of the calves. You know, they've kind of gone back to that. Make it look like Chief is the armor. If he really is just this jacked up superhuman, and the armor is almost like just a part of his body. And they've even made tweaks from the Bungie design that I think really work in this design's favor. Like, I like the Bungie shoulder pads quite a lot, but these shoulder pads, they stick out more from his shoulder, you know? Like, the Halo 3 Chief has aura, but those shoulders make no biological sense. Like, no human has shoulders that are that disconnected. He almost looks like a toy with ball joints. Where this Chief, because of the definition of the game, 4K, and the fidelity, they need him to be proportioned like an actual human being. So the arms have to be sunk into the chest a little bit more. They can't be stretched out of the chest. So they figured out a way to design new shoulder pads that trick your brain into thinking that his shoulders are still as broad. And that's why these stick out so much. And it's like, that's clever. That's a clever design. You can see with Halo 3, like the space diaper, it's very big, it's very wide. And could you imagine Master Chief sitting down in this? Like, thankfully, Halo 3 never makes him sit down, but I don't think he would be able to. Like, if you were to do this armor 1-to-1 and have a person wear it, I think they'd be incapable of sitting down, you know? So for Halo Infinite, they narrowed the space diaper a little bit to allow room for the person wearing the armor to sit down. But they still made sure, you know, that he looks badass. Just freaking look at him. Look how badass he looks, dude. Like, they made the chest bulkier because obviously a person is not going to have a chest that is this big unless you're like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So it's the armor that's actually that bulky, but it's designed in such a way that it complements him, and you kind of forget that the person under the suit isn't actually a beefcake built like that, you know? It's just a good ass design for Master Chief in Halo Infinite. They took the Bungie Master Chief design and they changed enough of it and modernized it in a way that I think carries Chief forward into the modern day. Because that Halo 2 era Chief design, that thing was of the era. Like, you couldn't translate that 1-to-1 in 4K without something looking wrong, you know? Because you need that low fidelity to kind of bring the vision to life, and you unfortunately don't have that luxury in 4K. So they did plenty of smart tweaks. And I think this ends up being probably the best looking armor for Chief. Like, best Chief design. Just my thoughts, though. Armor plates. Whoa. Whoa. I love you, cutie. Armor plates are thin plus form-fitting versus thick and bulky. Yeah. Halo 3 Chief has 40k Space Marine shoulder proportions. Yeah. If you've ever actually just stopped and looked at Halo 3 Master Chief, like, guys, this Chief is so cool, okay? He's cool. That's badass. But just look at him for a second. Take away the armor. Get rid of the armor, okay? How did... These proportions don't make sense for a human being to have. He has an insane... Like, there is a huge thigh gap. And it's just there. See if there's any other... He has this insane thigh gap. His shoulders are... It's like a robot, you know? His shoulders are all the way out here. Like, are they even... Are the bones even connected to his chest? And it's like, it's okay. It's okay. The visual fidelity of Halo 3 is enough that Chief looks badass in Halo 3. But if you were to do 4K with modern visual fidelity and stuff, unless you're doing a super stylized art style where people don't quite look like people, you can't do that because it'll look weird. And Halo Infinite was very smart about the way that they translated that armor into 4K. Because they've got to have him proportioned more like an actual human being. Now, in my opinion, I would love to see Halo go with a stylized art style with exaggerated proportions. Because I think you could really aura farm with it, but, you know. Alrighty, guys. That was fun. I shall see you all later. Here from Luke's Film LTD stream? What's going on? Hello, Lucasfilm? Mini raid? What's a mini? You can do? Is that legal for YouTube? Hang on. Let me see if I can find you, my friend. This is gonna be crazy. Watch this. We're gonna look at his stream. What is this? Oh, is this from... Oh, this must be on Twitch. That's crazy. You're sending people over from Twitch to here? That's bonkers. Okay, so isn't the etiquette for a stream raid is usually like, hey, hi, I'm me. So late night gaming is me. I do Halo themed videos. I'm currently working on a Helldivers video. Like to do the evolution of stuff, breakdowns of how games are made and all that. And you caught me in the middle of... You caught me in the middle of talking about the classic design for the Master Chief from like Halo 2 and Halo 3, and how this is not a design you can just do in 4K because a lot of shortcuts were taken, and a lot of kind of like the, you know, how people are supposed to look. The anatomy of the human body was broken, fudged a little bit in order to make Chief look as cool as he did in these older games. And so the difficulty of the Halo Infinite armor, I don't agree when people say this is just the classic armor, because it's not. Because if it was just the classic armor, it would look ridiculous, because the body model for Master Chief is proportioned more like a human being. So basically what I was doing was breaking down the subtle changes where at a surface level, it's like, oh, that just looks like Halo 3 Chief. But then if you look closer, you can see that there's actually a ton of very, very, very subtle differences that make it, no, it's not just the Halo 3 Chief. They actually tweaked it quite a lot so that it would work in 4K and with a more human-like body. Like here, let's... Halo 3 Master Chief. 3 is my favorite for sure. Yeah, I think it's my favorite as well, but it kind of only works in Halo 3. This is the only one that I can find, the only render of him that I can find, and I hope... Here, you know what? What is it? Starry Night, Halo 3. You'll see, I'll show you, because there is actually a shot in Starry Night that looks very strange because of Chief's proportions. So think about Chief here. If you were to take off all the armor bits, think about the silhouette as a human being. It doesn't make a lot of sense. His shoulders are way too far apart to the point that, like, his shoulders might have to be dislocated to be this far apart. His chest is kind of sunken in a little bit to make room for the chest plate. He's got this crazy thigh gap here. The feet are comically big. The wrists are a little bit too long, I think. Either way, but it doesn't matter, because look at him. Look at that. Look how cool that looks. But if you were to transport this into the real world, it would be a human being that lives in a lot of pain. You know, and would grow old and have probably like a lot of bone issues and would probably lose the ability to walk. That's okay. It's an Xbox 360 game from 2007, so the visual fidelity masks some of the weird, awkward proportions here. It is right... Okay, look at that thigh gap. That's nuts, right? And then here, like that looks cool. Super powerful. Aura farming. Chief is badass. Look at his waist. Right there, right there, right there. It's this moment right here where he almost... Because of the thigh gap, because of the way that his waist is designed, the way that his pelvic area, he looks like a toy, right? Or like a robot, you know? Like, what's that? Oh, man, what's that? Was it just called Robots? Yeah, Robots. That's what it was called. Where's, like this, you know how like some robots, it's like a bar, and then one leg on one side of the bar, and then a leg on the other side of the bar, and that's how like some science fiction robots are designed. Like, that's what Chief looks like, sort of, in Halo 3. Like, his anatomy. Like, that's weird looking, and you can see it in the way he runs. He's not running like a human being runs, because the anatomy doesn't make sense. That's not how humans look. So, going back to the Halo 3 Master Chief, it's all okay because Chief looks cool in Halo 3, but the problem with Halo Infinite is the actual anatomy under the suit has to be built more like a regular person, like a real-life human being. Otherwise, in 4K resolutions, you're going to notice that the anatomy doesn't make a lot of sense. So they need to take his Halo 3 armor and put it on a person that would exist in real life. And you can't just do a one-to-one translation. So they got to do all these clever tweaks, all these clever modifications. And here's where you can see some of it. Like, you can see, okay, those massive monster feet that he has in Halo 3, you can't do that. So you build new boots that look like something a regular-sized person could step into as a powerful suit of armor, but they also still make his feet look giant, you know, without making it literally look like he has clown shoes on. Like, it's just, down here, looks like a regular-sized guy stepping into a suit of armor of a big guy, you know? You can really see here, actually, that it's like right there at the waist. You can see that it, like, his, I'm kind of outlining where his legs would actually be and how far out from his leg the armor is actually jutting. And it all comes together to make Chief's actual silhouette more exaggerated, more bulky. In a way that is not realistic, in a way that is similar to the Halo 3 Master Chief, where the dude looks like a brick shithouse, you know, like how built he is to a comical extent. Like, they've re-sculpted the armor so that it gives him basically cartoon muscles. And it's only when you really, really, really stop and just look at him that you notice all of those little subtle changes. There's even stuff like, there's little stuff like, you can see the gauntlets, how the gauntlets just stop, right? And it's okay. Also, I realize that, like, these images are very, very small. Open link, no. Open image in new tab, maybe. There we go. That's probably better. It makes for a more comfortable viewing experience. You can see that it just stops. Like, arm goes in there. Gauntlet stops here. But look at how thin the metal gauntlet is compared to his... Like, his arms are just that thick, according to Halo 3. The armor is almost, like, paper thin. But then if we go over to Halo Infinite... Open image in new tab. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I should have done this from the start. You can see with Halo Infinite, there is great care to create a transition from the much, much, much thicker metal armor gauntlets and his actual natural, like, arms. And you can see the way that they disguised the transition so you wouldn't notice Chief isn't actually this bulky is with these lines. These lines, they're kind of like, you know, as we reach a transition point between the gauntlet and his natural arm, these lines appear, and they're there, and they're there, and they're there, and it's an optical illusion that kind of or not an optical illusion. It distracts, the lines distract you from noticing that there's a harsh cutoff between his arm and the gauntlet he's wearing that's much thicker. So it just makes it look like his arms are super meaty. You can see it a little bit here, the cutoff, but down here, it fits. The illusion works. The illusion works really, really, really well. You can see it here as well. You can see that these things here are actually, it's like a big thick piece of leather that's there, resting over his natural leg. that then transitions us into the thicker leg piece. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, enough rambling. Those are some of my interesting breakdowns of Chief. Why he looks the way he does. Why I like the Halo Infinite armor design quite a lot. And why I think people don't give enough credit to 343's artists. They did not just copy and paste Halo 3's armor. Because if they did, it would look stupid. They had to redesign the Halo 3 armor in a way that would make sense on a